The Pats-Eagles game's wrapping up, and we have the best fantasy football draft that we can hop into here. Flock Community Contest 5, $10 buy-in, $44,000 prize pool. Let's go ahead and let's get in this bad boy, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to draft with us, there are 10 spots open in the Flock draft right now. And yeah, like I said, we were doing these Flock tournaments on Underdog every Monday and Thursday night until the season starts. Plus, every other night we're doing our regular drafts on other tournaments such as Best Ball Mania, etc. But we are here. Thank you for coming, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be at pick 2. Pick 2 should be some fun. We should be able to get an elite receiver. And I honestly it is so much better. And when I mean so much better, I mean it. To be drafting inside the first 5 picks this year, inside the first 6 picks this year, in comparison to a later round selection. It's not only do you get the elite level guy out the gate, but the players that you're going to get in the late second, early third, at least in my mind, are very comparable to the guys that are going at the beginning of the second rounds. The guys that you're going to get at the 4-5 turn are kind of comparable to the guys that you're going to get at the beginning of the 4th. So I don't know. I think it's going to be difficult for me to make an argument for any better draft spot than the top 3 pick this year. But CMC off, I see that Torsten wants us to go Tyreek. I'm going to take CeeDee Lamb. I understand that Lamb does have some concerns that maybe Tyreek doesn't, but also Tyreek has Waddle where Lamb doesn't. But anyway, Powell in this draft with us at 5. In at 1. Duke out here with us at pick 5. Soup's in here with us at pick 6. Thank you for coming out, ladies and gentlemen. And Brian says 10-team Superflex Dynasty PBR with 2 additional flex. Rookie draft took Bowers at the 109 over Brian Thomas and Keon Coleman. Am I stupid? No, I don't think so, especially in a 10-team league where wide receiver depth's not going to matter as much. But after we take Lamb, you have Tyreek, Chase, and Jefferson going in the next 3 picks. Matthew says, drafting of the 103, 12-team PBR, what's your pick between Tyreek, Amon-Ra, and Chase, assuming Lamb and CMC are taken? Personally, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Tyreek, the wide receiver that had about 119 receiving yards per game last year. But Breece, Bijan off the board at 7 and 8. Very standard draft from an underdog perspective. I do want to remind y'all, if you're in a regular redraft league where wide receivers aren't going to be as valuable as they are on underdog, I would recommend you going through and instead to just take Breece, Bijan there at 4 and 5. I would recommend going with the top end running backs there. Okay. Now, let's smooth this over. Jalen Waddle off at 12. So that team at 12 going for a unique start with Waddle, Debo out the gate. Assuming that's going to push some decent values down to other guys. We'll see how far Jahmyr Gibbs falls. It is still weird seeing that Gibbs, not saying it's right or wrong, but it's just so different compared to what we dealt with all offseason, where Gibbs is somebody that now, somewhat regularly is falling to you at the end of the second round. It is interesting. Okay. Now, Nico Collins off the board at pick 17. Realm says, what's your Lamb versus Tyreek exposure? If I'm at pick 2, I take Lamb. If I'm at pick 3, I take Tyreek. I'd imagine that they're very similar to each other. I'm not super hot takey with that. So I'll pull it up just to confirm. I have CeeDee Lamb in 8% of drafts, and I have Tyreek Hill in 8% of drafts. Buy-in wise, they're almost identical as well. Okay. Drake London goes pick 21. Let's move this down. So I have noticed Devontae Adams falling a considerable amount in these drafts. Y'all know I've been on the anti-Adams train all year. Here, him going at the 2-3 turn, I think is a much better price point than where he was going previously. So I'm going to take him at 23, knowing the team after us already has CMC, so they may not want to take another running back They go HN anyway, but we are going to go ahead. We're going to be able to take Kyren Williams as our first running back at 26, which, like I said, I think I can make an argument for Kyren over HN anyway. Okay. So let's see. MP Bears Army. Are they on auto? Are they going to auto neighbors here? No, they are not on auto. They take DJ Moore. We will go ahead and we will draft Kyren Williams at pick 26. Y'all know I talked about this time and time again. One of my favorite starts in underdog drafts in particular is to go wide receiver, Kyren Williams. Now, in your regular redraft league, Kyren Williams is never going to be making this far to you. So sadly, you can't have that start. But on underdog, you can pretty much every draft you want. And of course, real quick, if you wanted to draft with us on Underdog, whether that's in a flock tournament or another tournament, we're streaming every single night. The flock tournaments are every Monday and Thursday night until the season starts, though. You can find the link to Underdog Fantasy in the description, in the comment section, in the live chat. They are best ball drafts and no time commitment at all during the season. So I draft hundreds of teams every year. So I won $150,000 on Underdog 2 years ago. And if you use code FLOCK, you're going to get my 2024 rankings, 2024 draft guide, 2024 ADP consensus cheat sheet, all three of which will be updated every single Sunday for you until the season kicks off. And yeah, also if you use code FLOCK, you're going to get a 50% deposit bonus up to $250. You're going to get a special Christian McCaffrey pick'em, more than less than half a total yard for week 1. And Underdog is available in pretty much every single state. You can see the map there, ladies and gentlemen. But Brandon says starting for... Okay. Strat for large touchdown bonuses. So personally, I love adjusting for league formats and trying to exploit our league mates where they may not understand a league format that we do. To be honest with you, I don't understand how to exploit leagues that give you big play bonuses, leagues that give you big game bonuses. Just because what do we want in a league that gives you big game bonuses? We want players that can make big plays and players that are going to see a lot of volume. What do I want in a regular fantasy football league? Players that can make big plays and players that can see a lot of volume. So pretty much nothing changes in my mind. I wish I had some like in-depth strategy, some massive exploit you could use, but I don't. AJ says, hey Mason, I'm drafting first round 10 TPPR. I'm thinking of targeting Ferguson and love the later rounds. Do I pick up Hall Pacheco or Hall wide receiver? What are your thoughts? I would definitely go Hall wide receiver before Hall Pacheco. I think I would take Pacheco in round 3 if you were to make it. Now, Dang Shoot, longtime member of the vlog, says 2 drafts coming up. 1 PPR single flex ESPN league. 1 PPR single flex, single super flex sleeper. How do you prioritize the builds for both teams? For draft number 2, where would you slide your quarterbacks in the rankings? Third year watching the flock. Much love, my guy. If it is going to be a league where you only have 1 flex spot, but an additional super flex, so a start 8 league, not including kicker DST, about 40% of your week-to-week production is going to be coming from the quarterback position, and you should look to take 2 guys early. Now, of course, some dynasty leagues, you're going to start like 3 wide receivers, 2 flex, and a super flex. Where there, it's going to be a lower percentage of your starting lineup output that the quarterback's going to account for. But no, here you just go all in on QB, my guy. Okay. Ray Charles says, just got here. Don't know if this has been asked, but on the Mr. Unlimited tourney, what does TGS versus U-Tree mean? So I saw that Underdog dropped another tournament today besides the Flock tournament. And yeah, it says like, I don't know. Does anybody in the live chat have an explanation? What is Mr. Unlimited? What is the TGS versus U-Tree? I'm assuming it was maybe like another YouTuber that I didn't know of. So please let me know. Anthony Richardson Kincaid off the board as well. We're going to go ahead. We will take Trey McBride here at pick 50. We do set ourselves up with the ability to take Kyler Murray later on when we get Trey McBride, which is a reason why I would like to go McBride. Okay, Luke says 2 popular sport YouTubers. Is that what their names are? Let me pull this up. What are their names? TGS. What's the full name, my guy, if you know these people? But anyway, we will not talk about that right now. Margaret says, what's up, Mason? Nice draft so far. Kyron Williams in round 3. Yes, my guy. Freaking love Kyron in round 3. Been taking him here all off season. And happy to see you. Happy to see you. Clayton says, 12-team full BBR, 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, a tight end, a flex, keeper 6th pick. Who should I keep between Rachaad White, London, and ETN? Love the vids. Much love, my friend. I would most likely go with Drake London in round 5 over ETN and White when we're getting the discount on London, and it's a start 3 wide receiver full PPR format. Okay. Now, Cam Got Kick says, picking number 2 in a $100 work league, standard ESPN format, 10-team league, what do your first 3 picks look like if you were in my shoes? If it's a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, CMC if he makes it a pick 2. If not, CD Lamb. And then there at the 2-3 turn, I think you go with the top running back, whether that's Achane, whether that's Kyron, and then pair it up with an elite quarterback, whether that's Sam Laporta or Josh Allen. Okay. Now let's move this over. Rachaad White off the board at pick 62. Now there have been some interesting trends with different players falling down and different players moving up underdog boards. Lately, one of the trends has been CJ Stroud has been a riser over the past few weeks, where the percentage of times that you're going to get CJ Stroud making it to you in the 80s is just significantly lower than what it was. Okay. Now, Brandon says, focus on the A-dot, huge stakes, any help. So DST is point differential. If you're looking at point differential, what I'm mainly going to be looking at there would just be Vegas win totals and trying to find the best offenses. And yeah, you can look at A-dot, but there are going to be some of those wide receivers that are able to rack up yards after the catch as well and give you big plays. But yeah, I guess if it's only big play touchdown bonuses rather than big play games like 100 yards, you getting an additional point, there I think you do probably prioritize going ahead and looking at like wide receivers for the flex spots that you think could have access to massive plays. Okay, so Xavier Worthy off the board at 79. I think that's the team that went Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, they go Mahomes at 45. They get Xavier Worthy at 69. Sure, they're excited about that. Keon Coleman at 70. I'm not a big Deontay Johnson guy. I'm not a big Hollywood Brown guy. We're just going to make the boring pick. We are going to take Kyler Murray here to pair up with Trey McBride. I like Kyler more than a lot of these other players. I think if we were to look for someone else, it would be Alvin Kamara, primarily given the fact that Alvin Kamara is on this thumbnail. So, I mean, hell, we get the sign from God to take him here. And also, if we look at the team that's after us, the team that's after us has Christian McCaffrey and Devon Achane on it. So I would just operate under the assumption that they will not be going with a running back, which they go wide receiver. So we will go ahead and we'll take Alvin Kamara as our running back to a pick 74. But let's move this around. Quick side note with Kamara. I saw like people saying like, oh, he didn't have a run longer than 24 yards or whatever it was last year. And I had a little light bulb that went off in my head and I went, oh my gosh, can we predict a player's drop off based off looking at volume in their longest run in a season? And I back tested it going over the past 7 years. I spent freaking hours doing this research, thinking all of a sudden I was going to have a great video and some new big realization that I could bring to y'all. Reality, it turned out that it didn't matter at all. And the hours of research went straight kind of down the drain in terms of helping anything. Okay. Now, let's move this over. Ladd off the board at 75. James Conner, Hollywood Brown, Ramondre Stevenson. Now, Natano says, hey, Mason, I'm in a 12-team PPR, 2 wide receiver, single flex format. If Allen's there at the 3-4 turn, would it be stupid to not take him there every time? Would it make sense to start running back receiver and vice versa? So 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, my guy, for sure. If Josh Allen's there at the 3-4 turn, you take Josh Allen. Quarterback's going to make a very high percentage of your starting lineup. Go for it. And yes, I think you can take an elite tight end there as well. Now, the issue is at the turn, it is kind of difficult to find a super exciting running back unless you're fine risking the Gibbs injury. Agent Tyler says, I'm in one of the 2 QB Superflex leagues, so we can start up to 3 quarterbacks if we want. What should my strategy be in a 10-team format? If you only start 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and no tight end, you can start 3 QBs. 60% of your lineup will come from quarterback, and there are only so many quarterbacks to go around. I'm going QB, QB, QB in that draft. I may take 4 quarterbacks in a row. Now, Mr. T says, pick 3, full PBR redraft. Wicks, Bryant Thomas Jr., AD Mitchell, Leggett, Ben Sinnott, Isaiah Likely, Jalen Wright. We have Achane and Musgrave. I'm going to go Bryant Thomas Jr. I'm going to go with Xavier Leggett. And I'm going to go with, actually, I'm going to go Bryant Thomas Jr., Dontavian Wicks, and then probably Xavier Leggett. I think I'd prefer Leggett over Jalen Wright, as well as Ben Sinnott. I don't see where the ceiling comes from, Ben Sinnott. Okay, so let's move this over. DeAndre Hopkins off the board to pick 89. I want to see, where does Addison go in this draft? As we're still kind of figuring out where the floor is for Addison in terms of where he's going to be getting drafted with his ankle injury, as well as the J.J. McCarthy injury. Actually, Addison went well before it. Oh, Addison just went to pick 86. Sorry, I overlooked him. Now, Raheem Mostert off the board, 91. Burrow goes 92. Obviously, when we have Lamb, Dak Prescott's in play, but we wouldn't be looking to take Dak until pick 97. Okay. Jonathan Brooks goes 93. We're going to get Jameson Williams. I'm not the biggest Jameson guy in the world, but we're going to get 13 picks of ADP value here. And yeah, I think it makes it almost a no-brainer decision to take him. And then we're going to take Dak Prescott at 98. So we'll take Dak, pair him up with Lamb. We have Kyler paired up with McBride. I really like this team so far. Now, of course, I do want to reiterate, if you're in your regular redraft league, you take Kyler Murray. You don't take another quarterback. But this is best ball. This is Underdog. No waiver wire. Best automatic starting lineup submitted for you at the end of every week. So things are going to be a little bit different. But anyway, wide receiver, we have CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, George Pickens, Jameson Williams. Running back, we have Kyron Williams, Alvin Kamara. Tight end, we have Trey McBride. Quarterback, we have Kyler Murray and Dak Prescott. We have Kyler stacked with McBride, and we have Dak stacked with CeeDee Lamb. Okay, so let's move this over. And at this point, what we are really hoping for is we're hoping to see a bunch of quarterbacks go off the board. But Serge says, can you help me draft my team September 1st, just like Patrick helped SpongeBob during his driver's training, full PBR, full pineapple under the sea. My guy, I wish I could, but happy to see you tonight. Thank you for stopping by. Serge is a long-time member of the flock. Okay. Now, let's move this over. Brian Robinson off the board at pick 104. Tony Pollard goes 105. Cade says, did you just get closer to deciding if you were going to stay in Texas or move elsewhere? So my complaint with Texas, if y'all don't know, I'm in Austin. And I've been in Texas pretty much my entire life, every year but 1 year of my life. I love Texas for a million different reasons, but my one complaint was the heat. And if you're in Texas, let me know if you think I'm crazy. But compared to what it was last year, dear God, we have had the most beautiful summer ever. At least compared to what I'm used to. This has been just beautiful. Brandon says, should I stack? Both get bonuses, any round targets. I don't think the bonuses make stacking more appealing, because if you're saying that it's like a massive, massive bonus if you hit the long touchdown, we should presumably assume that if we hit one during a week, that we have a good shot to win our matchup. So winning 2 is just kind of putting it away. If you're in a tournament, of course, yes. I'm not saying to avoid the stack. I just don't think you should be going out of your way to try to target it. But please let me know in the live chat right now, how many of y'all live in Texas? Let me know, because just get ready for this transition here. How many of y'all live in Texas? Let me know in the live chat. Okay, let's move this around. We are not going to be taking a quarterback here with this next pick. We are just running back, wide receiver, tight end from here on out. Tyler Lockett has been a big-time follower in drafts. Brandon Cooks dealing with knee soreness. Not the best. Not the best. Okay. What is Eagles doing here? Goes Gus Edwards. We'll take the falling value and Lockett. I've actually, off the live stream, been drafting the falling Lockett value quite a bit. Don't feel great about it because he keeps on falling. But it is what it is. When we have the Lamb Dak stack in a smaller field tournament like this, I don't feel the need to go Brandon Cooks here. Okay. Blake Corum off the board, 120. Where did Chubb go in this draft? Chubb went 113. 80 Mitchell goes, so I think we're going to go ahead. We actually are probably going to take Jerome Ford here as our running back 3 at pick 122. Okay, so let's move this down. But let's see how many people live in Texas. All right. Jeremy in Fort Worth. Sunraker, Dallas. We're at 2. Alex, Dallas. Q, Houston. We're at 4. Oren, Fort Worth, 5. Kazi, Texas, 6. NRG, DFW, 7. Frederick, 7. Ross, we're at like 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 15 plus people here in this chat right now. Probably 20, probably 30, considering the people that didn't type as well. So here's what I need from y'all. Clear your calendar. 1 week from today, you're heading down to Austin, Texas. Flock meetup. I will be there. Ton of fantasy football YouTubers will be there. Should be a ton of fun. 6:30 p.m. next Thursday, August 22nd. We're selling tickets on flockfantasy.com. I'm sorry I have to sell tickets. I have to tell the venue how many people are going to come. I'm giving away free merch. It's half price beer. I promise you, I'm losing money on this. But yeah, come down to Austin, Texas. You can grab a ticket at flockfantasy.store and you can see all the information on the screen right over there. Okay. But would love to see as many of y'all as possible. Okay. Let's scroll back into we have a couple questions we need to run through. Tanner says traded DJ Moore and ETN for Debo and Aaron Jones. DJ Moore to Debo, upgrade. ETN to Aaron Jones, downgrade. We have Lamb, Flowers. I love this team, but to be honest with you, I would have rather had Travis Etienne and DJ Moore. Sherney says, single flex, 2 wide receiver league. Thoughts on Rice at the 5-6 turn? I picked 12, and there's a small chance he falls to me at the 7-8, but don't want to risk it. You can if you want, but you're going to have a ton of really strong wide receiver values in that draft in rounds 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, Brandon says, play every team for a week for money. Okay, if you're saying like every week the highest scoring team gets money, then yes, you should stack there. You should. Benny says, joined a 12-team keeper league that started with 2 receivers. Had a draft with the new guy. We got Allen, Kelsey, Adams, Smith, Connor, Jones. That's beautiful. Specifically in that 2 wide receiver format, having Allen and Kelsey sets you up really nice. Okay. Now, let's move this down. Ezekiel Elliott makes it all the way down to 138. So you had Rico Dowdle, 124. Ezekiel Elliott, 138 in this draft. We're going to be back up on the clock soon. Really, the only thing that we can't do in this draft is quarterback's not going to be in play for us. We are running back, wide receiver, tight end. But we do have a lot of flexibility with what we want to do with these picks. Dotson has been a big-time follower as of late as well. Just in case you're not a sicko and drafting nonstop like I am. I can let you know who's rising and who's falling in drafts at the moment. I'll be fine taking Ty Chandler here. I'm not the most excited about it, but the team after us can for sure go running back if they decided to. So let's take Chandler. If they decide to pass on Dotson, maybe we take him. They pass on. I don't know if we want Dotson. It's either Dotson or Dobbins, Dotson or Musgrave, Dotson or Sticky Ricky. I'll go Jahan Dotson here. It is what it is. Not feeling great about it. Definitely not feeling great about it. If you don't know Washington coaching staff came out and said, yeah, we're still trying to figure out who our wide receiver 2 is on this team, which is no bueno for Jahan Dotson to hear that. So I definitely think that you probably should be falling, but at some point we got to scoop him. But of course, real quick, if you have not done so already, hit that like button. If we get 300 likes on this live stream, we'll fire up another draft after this one. Okay. Eric says, news on Dotson said he's not locked in as a starter Luke McCaffrey season. Let me see how many of these Commanders I've drafted. I think off the top of my head, I'm probably overweight on Eckler. I'm 11% Eckler, 10% Brian Robinson. I'm actually at 9% Dotson, 8% Daniels. I'm very much underweight Luke McCaffrey. I'm underweight Terry McLaurin. So for me, I hope Luke McCaffrey doesn't crush it. If Luke McCaffrey crushes it, I may be in some trouble. Blake says, can't stop drafting Benson, 34% in 240 drafts. What are your thoughts? One, could someone please hit Chess Genie with a mute or put in timeout? Don't mute him permanently. Just put him in timeout. Please don't spam the chat over and over again with the same question. But with Trey Benson, in your regular redraft league, I don't love the idea of drafting him because you're just going to have to put him on your roster. You're not going to be able to make waiver wire moves at the beginning part of the year, and he's not going to be startable for you. So Benson, like in your regular ESPN redraft league, probably not a great pick. Now, with that being said, in your underdog draft, specifically if you are in like Best Ball Mania, where we are trying to optimize for weeks 15, 16, 17, I think that Trey Benson could be a very solid pick there because Trey Benson may not give you anything at the beginning of the season, but may have a high ceiling for the final 3 weeks. And if he has a high ceiling for the final 3 weeks, you can be in a pretty good spot. Okay. Now, Bateman off the board, 161. Jaleel goes 162. Will says, I have the first overall pick. Am I going CMC or Tyreek? I would go CMC. Benny says, I got Allen because somebody kept Lamar over him. Yeah, I think Josh Allen's my QB1. Allen's had 4 straight seasons of over 390 points. Mason says, can we get a standard mock draft video before Saturday? I put out 2 mock draft. When you say standard, do you mean non-PPR? Because we put out 2 PPR mock draft videos on Sleeper. I think we're going to go ahead and take Noah Fant. We did decide to draft Tyler Lockett with this team, so maybe this is a team where we go, oh, okay, what if the Seahawks throw the ball more than people are expecting? What if JSN's a bum? Who knows? Okay. And Laffy says, do I trade Dell and Henry for Kyron Flowers? Full PPR format, give me Kyron over Henry. Dell Flowers up to you, so I'd prefer Kyron. Okay, Damari Douglas, Benefaller, Antonio Gibson. I think the split in the game tonight was 5 snaps for Gibson, 10 snaps for Ramadre. We'll take Gibson here at 170. Don't feel great about it, but we'll do it. And then it's a smaller field tournament, so I definitely think that we can draft 6 running backs. So here, wide receiver, we have Lamb, Adams, Pickens, Jameson, Lockett, Dotson. Running back, we have Kyron Williams, Alvin Kamara, Jerome Ford, Ty Chandler. Quarterback, we have Kyler paired up with McBride. We have Dak paired up with Lamb. And tight end, we have McBride and Noah Fant. Let's move this over. Ewan says, hey, Mason, I have the 10th and 11th pick, 10-team, 1 wide receiver, double flex league. Who would you take between Saquon, Wilson, JT, Gibbs, A.J. Brown, and Puka? I would probably go with A.J. Brown and then your favorite running back between JT, Gibbs, Barkley. My mind, if Gibbs was 100% healthy, it's Gibbs easily. But it's difficult to know that before. It's difficult to know if Gibbs is fully healthy. Buzz says, keeping Brees and Tyreek, thinking of going Allen and Laporta in rounds 3 and 4. I have the 10th pick in a 10-team league and go for a bunch of high-ceiling guys. I mean, I would absolutely love that, my guy, especially if you're expecting to have wide receiver values making it to later on. My just thing is, if you're keeping Brees Hall and Tyreek Hill, I'd be very surprised if Josh Allen and Sam Laporta are making it to you at the 3-4 turn. But you know your league better than I do. Okay. Now, after we take Gibson, you have likely Khalil Herbert. Demario Douglas makes it down to 177. I mean, Douglas has been a big-time faller in drafts as of late. Okay. Luke McCaffrey goes 179. Jalen McMillan goes 180. This down. Mac Bain says, hey, Mason, I'm in a 10-team map PBR. Keeper is the last pick. I have Lamar and McBride. They worth anything? Don't know exactly what you're asking. Always happy to see you, my guy. But if I'm keeping either Lamar or McBride, I'd probably go Lamar. If you're asking if you can sell them for something, I'd imagine that you can. Should be able to. But Pop-Up Places, the Puppy 3 is out. Ooh, I did not see that. Did they just drop that on Underdog? Yeah, Underdog dropped the Puppy 3. $5 buy-in, $1 million prize pool, $100,000 for first place. And people are just racking up entrants in it. When did this drop? It's already 18,000 entrants. NRG says today. Yeah, that thing's filling fast. Okay. Yoshioff, let's move this around. Oh my gosh. I really don't want to do it. I just know y'all love seeing it. Y'all always beg for it. Y'all always go, Mason, please draft Quinton Johnston. Mason, please do it. You haven't drafted enough Quinton Johnston. He's so good. Now, I don't hold any of those beliefs. But just for y'all, we'll fire it up. Just for you. I know y'all have been begging for it for God knows how long now. I think this may be my first time ever drafting him. But I'm a man of the people. I do as y'all want. Running back, what do we want here? I think we may reach on Tank Bigsby. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take Bigsby. I think he's locked in as the RB2 here in this offense and may have role from week-to-week perspective even without an ETN injury. But let's go ahead and let's show this team off. We are in here at pick 2. I've already read the team 1,000 times. Don't feel like we got to do it again. I like the team. I think, honestly, because we got a top 10 wide receiver at pick 191, we probably can afford to go with a third tight end. So we are going to queue up some tight ends, and then we are going to go ahead and we are going to bounce to another draft. So let's move this over to the other draft. We are going to be getting in the Flock Community Contest 5 again. Let's go ahead. Let's hop in. And this thing filled immediately. Let's freaking go. Okay, we're in here at pick 7. I see a ton of familiar names in here with us. Please let me know in the live chat if you made it in. I see that we were going up against Vinny at pick 9. Vinny gets in these drafts a ton. I see we're going up against Prod at pick 12. He's drafted with us for years. Cameron is in here at pick 11. Julius in here at pick 3. Always happy to see you, my guy. And Tyler says, Flock, do you have a promo code for Underdog? I have the thing just for you, my guy. I know I probably don't say it nearly enough on this channel. I don't even know if you've heard that I won 150,000 on Underdog before, just in case nobody here has heard it. I will, of course, remind y'all, that, yeah, this is the Flock Tournament Underdog. This is where I draft every single day. My favorite place to draft. I've done it for years. Will do it for years into the future. And yeah, the best ball, no time committed all during the year. So I drafted hundreds of teams every year. So I won 150,000 on Underdog 2 years ago. And if you want to join a draft with us, you can find that link in the description, in the comment section, in the live chat. If you use code FLOCK, my friend, you will get a 50% deposit bonus up to $250. Plus, you will get my 2024 rankings, 2024 draft guide, and 2024 ADP consensus cheat sheet, plus a Christian McCaffrey special pickup, more than less than half a total yard. You do need to be in one of these states, however, if you want to draft on Underdog. You can see the map on the screen here. Okay. Now, Jamar, I have noticed falling in these drafts somewhat. Jefferson makes it to us at pick 7. I actually would go Bijan over Jefferson in your regular redraft league, just specifically in these Underdog drafts, where wide receiver is going to be hard to come by later on. We'll go ahead and we'll just take Jefferson. Okay, let's move this over. Now, A.J. Brown goes 9, Garrett Wilson off the board at 10. Super standard draft, I guess outside, I guess it's not super standard. I mean, St. Brown going at 4 doesn't happen in every one. Chase going at 5 doesn't. Brees going at 6 doesn't. And then it is somewhat of a unique pick getting Jefferson where we do. When I get Jefferson at 7, what I'm more likely than not gonna do is just take whoever falls according to ADP. That way we potentially have the most unique combo possible. Okay. Realm says, do we have to live in those states or can we draft while we're on vacation in those states? So you can go ahead and enter into a draft when you are in those states. So what a lot of people do is we'll take Deebo Samuel here. If you look at this tournament, the way the ADP lines up, there shouldn't be a ton of Jefferson Deebo teams. But what a lot of people do is they'll go into like a state that does have Underdog, enter in a ton of slow drafts that have 8-hour timers, and you can draft as long as you entered into the state that has Underdog. You're allowed to, like, say you're driving through states and you're in a state that doesn't have it. You can still open up the draft and make your picks. You just can't enter in to a draft unless you're in one of those states. Now, Tyler says 12-team PPR Superflex. Give Tank for Brian Thomas Jr. a second and a third. Other receivers are Puka, Debo, Evans, Flowers, Smith, Leggett. I'm not the biggest Tank guy. If it was 2 seconds, I think I'd for sure do it. A second and a third is definitely fair value. And if you want to commit yourself to rebuilding, I think you for sure go ahead and do it. You for sure take it. Now, if you wanted to instead go ahead and contend, then it's a little bit of a tougher question. Underdog does not have auction drafting, my friend. Okay, Malik Neighbors going off the board here, pick 23 ahead of Devontae Adams. Like I said, I'm not a big Devontae Adams guy, but taking Malik Neighbors over him when the Giants are supposed to be an even worse offense, probably no bueno. But obviously, I'm not that smart. Okay. 44 MSU says, how do you like the Longhorns joining the SEC? So I talked about this before, but like whenever I went to UT, we were in the Big 12. And I know like there's a big A&M UT rivalry from back in the day where I had a bunch of friends that went to A&M. So like I know that at A&M, they talked about UT a lot and UT was like a big deal. Whenever I went to UT, nobody ever talked about Texas A&M. It just wasn't on the map whatsoever. But now that we actually get to play them again, I think that rivalry will be back on, which will be really cool. And I wish it would have happened whenever I was in school, because everybody, at least that I knew, like if you go to UT, if you go to Texas, that is, you have friends who go to Texas A&M and vice versa. So I would love to get Metcalf here if you're just trying to come up with a unique team. Let's see what happens. Diggs goes, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take DK Metcalf. Not as good as it would have been if we could have got Kyron Williams. Y'all know, like we did in the last draft, I love wide receiver Kyron Williams. But it is what it is here. Okay. Jordan says, half PPR, 2-player keeper. Chase in the first, Lamb in the second, Pacheco in the 7th, Taylor in the 6th. Probably going to take... For sure, we would go Lamb in the 2nd before Chase in the 1st. I think we probably go Taylor in the 6th and Lamb in the 2nd. Because if you have a shot to draft someone like Chase in the 1st, I know you're not going to have a shot to draft someone like Taylor in the 6th. Platinum Beat says, sup Mason, would you take Kenneth Walker over Mixon? I actually just recently did decide to move Kenneth Walker over Joe Mixon based off the offensive coordinator here praising Kenneth Walker's receiving down ability, thinking that Walker maybe has a slightly larger role on third down. Okay. Now, ETN off the board at 37. Once we go 3 wide receivers out the gate, we definitely give ourselves the ability, if we wanted to, have gone with like a running back there at pick 42, whether that was ETN or Pacheco, whoever would have fallen, but neither of them fall in this draft. So instead, we are going to be in a little bit of a different situation, in which I think if we're looking at these guys, what we can do is we can go ahead and take Patrick Mahomes. Take Mahomes here at 42 with the hope that what we are going to get on the way back around is potentially Rashee Rice at pick 55. If Rice doesn't make it to us at pick 55, then looking at Xavier Worthy at pick 66. If Xavier Worthy doesn't make it to us at 66, then looking at Hollywood Brown at pick 79. Now, Elite Scrub says, enter more tournaments or more entries in one tourney. I don't know exactly what you're asking here. If you're saying like, oh, should I spread my drafts around different tournaments or pick my favorite tournament and do my drafts there? So Underdog this year's had so many different tournaments with so many different prizes. I mean, buy-ins, prizes, settings, that what I would really recommend is you picking your favorite. There are so many different options and really having fun in that, right? Because if you're getting into any type of fantasy football draft, but especially an Underdog draft, you're doing it for fun. So I think that's what you should try to be optimizing for. So if there's a particular format that or tournament structure that you don't like, which there are some tournaments on Underdog that I don't like I don't draft in a ton of the Superflex ones. I don't really draft much in weekly winners. I typically avoid those. And then the ones that I do really like I actually really like the Sprint this year. I've been drafting a ton of teams there. Platinum says, do you think Dell finishes the wide receiver 1 in Houston? I do not, my friend. Looks like right now Dell's the wide receiver 3. He's only in 3 wide receiver sets in Houston. Gary Usher says, Mason, what's your favorite Beach Boys song? I don't have a favorite Beach Boys song, but I actually have a cool story that I believe my first concert I ever went to was the Beach Boys. It was either my first or second. I remember going. I just can't remember if I went to one before then. But yeah, my grandpa every year would take us to the rodeo in San Antonio, and there'd be like a concert every year at the rodeo. And the Beach Boys was one year, which was really cool. But Michael says, last pick sleeper. Who do you have picked most with the last one? Miles Sanders has been mine in the last 3 drafts. I go Tank Bigsby just because I'm pretty confident he's the running back 2 in Jacksonville. So looking at this, do we just go James Cook? Yeah, I think we are going to go ahead. We're going to take James Cook. Like I discussed, if we get Worthy making it to us in round 6, that'll be great. If not, we'll look at Hollywood in round 7. But yeah, Rashee Rice in this draft went at pick 44, so we had no shot to get him. Teal says, pick 5, half PPR, Chase, Jefferson, or Bijan. If it is a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex league, I'm going to go Bijan. If it's a league where you start 4 more receivers, I think you can go Chase if you'd like. Worthy goes at pick 58. So sadly, Drew's, for member of the flock in here, snipes us on him. So now our next option, if we wanted a Mahomes stack, would be to go ahead and get Hollywood at pick 79. But personally, I'm not going to be taking Hollywood Brown at 66. Okay. Let's move this over. Anthony Richardson off the board at 61. Keenan Allen continuing to fall. I wonder if it's with the weight concern stuff. So we'll have a couple different running backs making it to us here. To be honest with you, I kind of like Rachaad White over Joe Mixon. At least that's what I've personally been doing. So hopefully the team ahead of us takes Mixon. They go Deontay Johnson, but we are going to take Rachaad White here anyway, and we'll let Mixon slide. I just think Rachaad White's proven that he's going to have a larger receiving role. Rachaad White's younger. Now, the bad side of things is Rachaad White is also in a much worse offense than Joe Mixon will be, which that's going to be the concern. Okay. CJ Stroud off the board, 67. Kenneth Walker goes 68. Walker has been a riser as well. I mean, here, Mixon is just falling like an absolute rock. Montgomery goes ahead of Mixon. How far? Did something happen with Mixon? The team at 3 with 0 running backs, and Mark Andrews takes George Kittle instead of Mixon. Please let me know in the live chat, did something happen that I'm possibly unaware of? Joe Mixon makes it all the way down to 71 in this draft. I do not know how many times I've seen that. Elix says, first cross-country meet tomorrow. Good luck, my guy. Go to bed, get some good sleep, and crush it. Ross Cred says, haven't heard of anything. Mixon's good. No, just a minor quad. Okay. Just double checking, because obviously I don't want to get in the next draft and all of a sudden take Mixon in a spot that makes no sense. Okay, so JSN off the board at pick 73. Dominic says, I heard Mixon burn his hands on the stove making ramen. Oh. Okay, that explains everything then, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let's move this over. So Hollywood was the guy that we are potentially looking at. Did Hollywood go already? Am I an idiot? Or is his ADP not where I think it is? Where did Hollywood Brown get drafted? Hollywood went at pick 59. What? Crazy. Aaron Jones goes. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to say he's on the thumbnail, but he's not at practice, and he'll be on this team. We'll go ahead and we'll take Alvin Kamara as our third running back here. Take Kamara as our third guy. Okay, this is really funny. Captain Carpenter says, hey, Dad, from China again. Shout out NordVPN. 14T BBR single flex, second pick. What would a perfect 3 first picks look like? I think probably Lamb out the gate. You're not going to be back up on the clock again until picks 27 and 29. If you could get Achane, if you could get Barkley, if you could get Kyron, if you could get JT, Pacheco, Derrick Henry, I think maybe you end up having to reach on Jacobs. I think if you're looking for a player in that range, makes sense. And then depending on how your league mates are drafting quarterback, I wouldn't mind going with an elite QB and just staying balanced out the gate. Getting like an elite quarterback, a top-end running back, and giving yourself a bunch of flexibility. Now, here, what do? We can't take Burrow. We'll go Swift. It's a no bueno situation for us, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I call a no bueno situation. 4 running backs, back. James Cook, Rachaad White, Alvin Kamara, DeAndre Swift. We have the 3 solid wide receivers with Jefferson, Debo, DK. We have the elite quarterback, unstacked, that is. We whiffed out on all the Mahomes receivers. But, yeah, I mean, this is just a weird team. Weird team. Mostert off the board at pick 91. Brooks goes 92. Maserati Masi says, not a big fan of my team either, Mason. He is out here at pick 6. He decided to go with the anchor RB with Brees and then followed up with Olave, Diggs, Higgins, Ridley. CJ Stroud to stack with Diggs. Then Aaron Jones, Raheem Mostert. At least I feel like your team at least makes sense. Like my team just makes 0 sense with what we're doing. Logan, I'm afraid this may be what we're looking at. With the Chiefs stack out the window, you should go Herbert and Quinton Johnston. Now, nothing would pain me more than drafting Justin Herbert and Quinton Johnston. But like I said, I'm a man of the people. And we may end up having to do it. Okay. Caleb goes off the board at pick 101. We are going to get a tight end here, which is exciting. Just anything but another running back. I like Bowers. I like Njoku at price. I previously liked Njoku more than Bowers. Now I can see an argument for Bowers based off the preseason usage. Bowers goes, but we're going to get David Njoku. No harm, no foul. Let's go ahead and pull the trigger. Soup says, did you decide the flock tournament format for the playoffs? By far the most interesting with the head-to-head matchups. So we all decided it together. Essentially what I did is I came to one of the streams. I said, hey guys, Underdog said we can make our own tournament. What do we want? And then everybody got their brains together, came up with a little something, something. And that's how the flock tournament arrived. And now you see other tournaments having head-to-head matchups as well. So I think it's probably a pretty big hit. Now, K Squared Goff says, my family's starting a 10-team full PPR keeper league, single flex, 2 keeps. Who do you think? Tyreek, Brees, Bijan, Achane, Laporta. Love the content. Wouldn't let me do a $5 donation. So you're much love, my friend. Know you've been with us for a very long time. And yeah, this is ridiculous that this is who you're getting to choose between as your keepers. I would go Brees and Tyreek. Since it is only a 10-team, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex league, if you really wanted to go Brees and Bijan, you could do it, but I'd probably go Brees and Tyreek. For sure, don't do Laporta or Achane. E. Morales says, happy BR, pick 5, 2 receiver, 2 flex. First 2 rounds. There, if it's a double flex format, I think you can stay balanced. At pick 5, you get Brees or Bijan falling to you. I think you go with them. If not, you can go Chase, St. Brown. And then going back around on the way with round 2, if you get like Kyron Williams, if you get Barkley, if you get JT, probably take him. If not, you can go with the receiver. Okay, so Debo would pair up with Purdy for us. We need wide receivers so bad, though. 100% this could be a mistake. 100% I may end up I should be taking Brock Purdy here. But I don't know. I'm getting nervous with receiver with only having Jefferson, Debo, DK. It's going to dry up soon. Looking at what's going to be back available to us in round 11. It's not super exciting. Not super exciting. Cameron says, how's team 11 looking besides the early Hollywood pick? Oh, besides the early Hollywood pick when I have the Mahomes team, my guy. Pick 11's garbage. Friggin' dust. RIP. Phenomenal team outside of Hollywood Brown. You had no shot to win with Hollywood Brown at pick 59. RIP, my guy. Okay. Now, let's move this down. Jacoby Myers off the board at pick 115. You have Lawrence, Goff, Dowdle, Zeke. All after. Brock Purdy makes it all the way down to 120 to the team that has CMC. Okay, A.D. Mitchell going off the board at 122. Jerome Ford, 124. If we're looking at other potential quarterbacks, we could go Geno. We could go Darnold. We could go Deshaun. There are a bunch of different QBs that we have in play for us. Ross Cred says, didn't you win a tourney with an unstacked Mahomes? It's time again. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go for it. Brandon Cooks falling a decent bit. I mean, Judy would make a lot of sense with us having Njoku, looking for maybe a double stack Deshaun. So let's go ahead. Let's take Jerry Judy. Let's go in on this Cleveland Browns offense. Maybe make a bet that the Browns are a better passing offense than people are expecting this season. We'll see. Okay. But Jefferson, Debo, DK, Dontavian Wicks, Jerry Judy at wide receiver. Quarterback, Mahomes, sadly unstacked. We whiffed on everyone. Tight end, Njoku. And then running back, James Cook, Rashad White, Alvin Kamara, and DeAndre Swift. Okay. Let's move this over. Okay. Schultz off the board to pick 135. Let's see how far Dotson falls in this one. I think, did we take Dotson around 13 in the last draft? Here we're in round 12. Mooney is for sure in play for us if we wanted to go with him. I think I may take Mooney here, to be honest with you. Locked in for the number 2 job behind Drake London. I want to believe that London is very good, but he was like the wide receiver 47 last year, something along those lines. So it's by no means a guarantee that London is phenomenal, even if we think that he is. What's actually very funny is Darnell Mooney's best season in fantasy football is better than Drake London's best season, which in my mind is pretty funny. Okay, let's go ahead and move this down. Teresa says, Mason, will we do another draft since this is a faster draft? 100%. If we hit 600 likes on this live stream, we are going to fire up another draft after this one. So if you have not done so already, go down there, drop a like on this stream, and we'll fire up another one. Give more. Happy to see you, my dude. Let's go. Hope that you had a great year. Hope you had a great year. Okay. Now, after we take Darnell Mooney, you have Cole Kmet. Kmet's also been a faller based off the Gerald Everett preseason usage. Dominic says, haven't been able to join the stream as much as I did last season, but I've been checking them later in all the other videos. Happy to see you, my guy. Happy to see you. But, yeah, completely understand if y'all got a lot going on. No worries whatsoever. Okay. Hawkinson off the board to pick 144. Drew says, did someone say Chuba got hurt? I hope Chuba Hubbard didn't get hurt. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Better video of the hit on Chuba Hubbard by Jets safety Chuck Clark. Hubbard's initial test on his knee came back clean. Seems to be okay. Sounds like Hubbard's fine. Okay, Josh Downs off the board. Let's move this over. We have a couple different options. With us taking Darnell Mooney where we did, we could go ahead and take Kirk Cousins here to pair up with Mooney. The team before us doesn't have any Falcons. They go Jaleel, so we will go ahead. We'll take Cousins as our second quarterback here. Pair him up with Darnell. I honestly haven't taken a lot of Cousins this year for whatever reason. Connor says, first ever draft, 6 people. We have St. Brown, Jamar, Henry, Jacobs, Kincaid, Hurts, Debo, Metcalf, Amari, Cousins, Kenneth Walker, Kyler, and Njoku. Is this good? If you are in a league that you only have to start one quarterback, my friend, you probably don't want to be rostering all 3 of those guys. I would recommend that you would go ahead and cut Kirk Cousins and pick up another running back off the waiver wire that has upside. And then if you can, I would try to trade like Amari and Kincaid and go get a tight end in the upper tier like Sam Laporta. Just because it's a 16 league, my friend. Okay. Now, Deshaun off the board at 157. Watson obviously was in play for us as well when we had Judy and Njoku. Okay, let's move this down. Gibson off the board at 158. So we're definitely going to take 3 tight ends when we've waited this long to grab our second one on a David Njoku team. Marshawn Lloyd's been falling down boards. He should be falling down based off the injury, based off the reports with A.J. Dillon. I think we're going to go ahead. We're going to take Marshawn Lloyd. Let's go. Scorpion says, hey, Mason, you look like a guy that listens to the Backstreet Boys. One, Backstreet Boys before my time, so no, I don't listen to them. But I do listen to a bunch of very embarrassing people that I don't want to say very. To me, it's not embarrassing. I don't care whatsoever, but I know y'all would probably think it's embarrassing. Like some of my top people that I listen to and really like that I'm sure y'all don't. Miley Cyrus, I don't want to say my GOAT, but pretty damn high. On the Mount Rushmore. Lady Gaga, top tier. Freaking Stars Born, one of my favorite movies. The absolute best. Pudgy says, do you use Spotify or Apple Music? I am an Apple Music guy. Really like Morgan Wallen as well. We actually just went to a Morgan Wallen concert a couple weeks back. Ton of fun. Highly recommend going if you ever get the shot. Okay. Now let's move this down. After we go Lloyd, you have a bunch of wide receivers off the board. I think we've kind of caught back up on wide receiver. And when we go with 3 quality receivers out the gate, it's not like we're completely behind at the position. Okay. Drucer says, what are you jamming to in the car? I'm very boring. In the car, I am just kind of listening to YouTube videos and podcasts. I really only listen to music when I'm with other people or when I'm working out. And my top people, if I had to go top 5 artists, Lil Uzi's one, and Lil Uzi will never be topped. I'm sorry. After that, at the moment, probably Morgan Wallen. In the top 5, Drake has to be somewhere. I don't know. Well, I'll give you my top 5 at some point. I honestly just kind of want to lock in a smaller field contest. The quarterback points here with Rodgers. Only 1 out of 12 teams advance to the fantasy football playoff tournament. It's probably not taking Rodgers here, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Slayer says favorite Lil Uzi song, 20 minutes, easily. 20 minutes is by far and away the best Uzi song. 20 minutes is the best song ever made. I honestly don't like Kendrick. I like Kendrick when I was in like middle school, but I don't like rap. I like the SoundCloud singy song rap that a lot of people think is like the garbage rap. But let's see. Yeah, Tupac's before my time. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to say. I like some Mac Miller songs. Like I like Cinderella, but I really liked Kanye growing up. I can't listen. Like all his new stuff is absolutely garbage. I would like to like it. I mean, I wish I liked it, but I can't. It's bad. I haven't liked any new Kanye album since I was in high school, to be honest. Like 10 years. The last one I liked was, whatever the orange one is. And I actually had tickets to go see him on tour that year, and he canceled it. He was going to go to San Antonio. And my friend and I had tickets, and he canceled. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Okay. And I will say, like, going back and listening to a bunch of music that I used to listen to in high school, some music holds up very well that I used to really like. And some music, like, I used to love, but I can't listen to anymore. Like, great examples of this. Two guys that I used to really like, and I went through big phases of in high school. Because I go through, like, phases with artists where I'll listen to one person nonstop for, like, a month. I used to love Chance the Rapper. Whenever I really liked acid rap, I really liked 10 Day. And I used to really like Childish Gambino. I really liked Camp. I really liked Before the Internet. Re-listening to Chance the Rapper, it's horrible. I can't listen to it anymore. I don't know why I used to like it as much as I did. But re-listening to Childish Gambino, I still really like. John says, I just listened to 20 minutes. It's a terrible song. I know y'all aren't going to like these songs. That's what I'm telling you. I know y'all won't like it. Naeem says, Mason seems like a Santana fan. My girlfriend and her family is actually going to see Santana this weekend. Okay. Yeah. Childish Gambino is great, and his music has aged very well in my mind. And let's move this down. And I will say one quick thing with music is it does, like, one thing that's like a little pet peeve of mine is when people think that they have superior music taste to anybody else. And my thing with music is just like everybody likes what they like. Nothing's objectively better than something else. And that's why I understand a lot of people don't like the same music I listen to, which is completely fine. Okay. Now, Dameon Pierce off the board. If we're looking for tight ends, we're looking at two guys to add onto this team. I think Mike Gesicki will be one of them. Should be a decent offense. He should hopefully have a large role. And like I said, if we hit 600 likes on this stream, we are going to fire up another draft after this one. I have no idea how many likes we're at. Probably lost a lot of people talking about music nonstop for the past. Oh, we're already at 600. So let me queue up some tight ends, and we'll go ahead and we'll fire up the next draft. We're going to queue up Tucker Kraft. What's the Dawson Knox news? Who cares? We'll queue him up. We'll queue up Jelani Woods. Just a couple of these guys that aren't going to get drafted. But let's go ahead and we'll fire up another Flock Community Contest 5. $10 buy-in, $44,000 prize pool. Let's get in this bad boy. Okay. Now, we are pick 9, so you get to see us in the early rounds with pick 2, middle rounds with pick 7, and now in the, or not rounds, I'm an idiot, section of the draft. And now we're in the later section of pick 9. Now, Zach says 12-team half PPR, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. 7th pick, is it better to reach in the 2nd and 3rd to an elite quarterback and elite tight end? If not, what round would you try to get him? Thanks. Appreciate you, my guy. Definitely would love an elite quarterback and tight end in this format. I think what you're going to be looking at is just taking him in rounds 3 and 4, though. I think you should get him. I think you should be able to go like Lamar Andrews. Better case scenarios, you could possibly go with Josh Allen, Dalton Kincaid. That's what I'd love, my guy. Okay. Q says, what to do when league mates start reaching heavily on quarterbacks, tight ends? I get that it leaves high value at wide receivers and running backs on the board, but I can only start so many. The thing is, if you're in your draft and you realize, oh my gosh, 6 teams have reached on a quarterback, I may not. The thing is, if they reached on their quarterbacks, they're probably not taking another. So it's like, oh, okay, all of a sudden there are only 5 other teams you have to compete for a group of like 10 quarterbacks with. So if your league mate's going to reach on a quarterback and it's a 1 QB league, just let him. Manny says, love Frank Ocean. I loved Frank Ocean growing up. Loved Frank Ocean in high school. Now I think Frank Ocean, I listen to him, but I don't think he holds up that well. Like I loved him back in the day, but re-listening to it, it's not like Chance the Rapper where I listen to it and go, I don't understand how I used to like this so much. But I'm not revisiting it too often. Best Frank Ocean songs, probably Swim Good. Alex says, just saw your YouTube short about getting pick 9, then tap into the live, and you're at pick 9. LOL. I know. I'm okay with pick 9 now because you have some more interesting aspects of the board. Pick 9 used to suck so much when you couldn't get an elite tight end there in the 4th round. Now I think pick 9's better than what it was at the beginning of the year. But please, everybody spam the chat right now. Who is your favorite artist? Not just of current times, but of all time. Who is your favorite artist all time? Okay. We're going to go ahead. We will take A.J. Brown at pick 9. It is a boring pick, but it is what it is. Tony says, pick 12 in my 12-team double flex full PPR league. I'm scared of being stuck on the clock with JT, Gibbs, Saquon, Marvin, London, best available. Don't like how my mocks are looking. If it's a double flex format, I think you probably don't want to try to just go running back out the gate. But if Marvin and London are the wide receivers that are there, I think I would prefer just going JT and Gibbs or JT Saquon or Saquon Gibbs. I think you probably go running back. I understand being a little nervous about it. Okay, but let's check out we got Kanye, Luke Combs. I like Luke. Not that much, but I definitely listen to him. Yay, JPEG Mafia, George Strait. I wish I would have gone to the George Strait Parker McCollum concert that was in College Station. That was just absolutely massive. Not sadly, I was in France, but I was in France at the time, so I didn't get to go. I think let's just keep it boring. Let's go ahead and let's take Jonathan Taylor. But I have seen Parker McCollum. I actually really like Parker McCollum in concert. That was a couple years ago, though. Rich says Kendrick's top 2. He's not 2. Jonathan, The Weeknd. Kanye, The Midnight. Drake, Kendrick. NF. ASAP. Biggie. Kanye. There's a lot of Kanye in here. There is a lot. Beatles, Kanye, Eminem. Gunna. All American Rejects. Kid Cudi. Foster the People. Kid Laroi. I'm not going to lie. I really liked Kid Laroi like 4 or 5 years ago. When the only Kid Laroi music you could find was like on SoundCloud, I really liked him. I'm surprised to see how many people like Kendrick this much. Matt says Logic. Logic is somebody that I used to really like in high school. All his new music, I really do not like at all. But revisiting his old music that I really liked in high school, like the Under Pressure album and the Spaceship album, whatever the hell it's called, The Incredible True Story. I listen to those constantly now on runs. Because what I do on runs is I just have all my music downloaded on my watch and I can just do AirPods. And I just listen to full albums. And Logic actually, because all his new stuff I absolutely hate and I can't listen to. But his old stuff actually holds up very well, which I was surprised about. Okay, but anyway, we have a couple questions. Let's see. K Squared Golf says, I'll add, we are doing keepers every year until it's Dynasty. Should I go with youth with Brees and Bijan? I don't know how long Tyreek will be good since he's getting old. If it's Dynasty, I won't have him long. Yes, I think you should if it's going to be a Dynasty format, 100%, or a keeper league, 100% skew towards those young running backs. That definitely changes things. Okay. So let's move this. Duke says 2024 is Zach Bryan. Yeah, my brother actually went to the Zach Bryan concert in Tampa yesterday. He said it was really good. Okay. Now, let's see. After we go A.J. Brown, Jonathan Taylor, we do want to stay flexible here. What could we get back? I think we may end up just reaching on... If we go Henry's not going to fall as far very often. But almost just rather not. I'm just going to reach on Sam Laporta here, pick 33. I think Laporta can outscore the other wide receivers that are going in this range. So it's okay. Derrick Henry goes 34. Real quick in the live chat, just so I get a feel, because this is our first year that I've been like uploading YouTube shorts. 1, have y'all been watching the YouTube shorts at all? 2, are they interesting at all? 3, are they annoying? 4, if there's anybody that found this live stream from a YouTube short, that'd be very interesting to know as well. If I get some feedback on that, that'd be nice. John says shorts are lame. K-Squared Golf says, yes, the shorts are great. Okay. Conflicting reports so far. We can put it that way. Henry says the 9th overall pick short was hilarious. Hell yes, my guy. Yes, yes, no, and no. Yes, yes, no. They're all right. I like them. Don't watch or like shorts. Okay. Seems like people like them more than not. So we'll do them. What I've been doing, just because I don't want to annoy the people who don't like them, we're going to take Jalen Hurts so we can pair Jalen Hurts up with A.J. Brown, but we're really going to need to look for wide receivers a little later on. What I've been doing is I've been checking a box that it doesn't upload to the subscription channel. So I don't want to like flood your stuff with shorts that y'all aren't interested in. So I've just been like unchecking that. So it only is shown like in the shorts algorithm. So you only really see it if you're actually on shorts. Nick says 12-team PPR, Love, Walker, HN, Lamb, Marv, Tank, Goddard, Swift, Deontay Schultz, drafted from 5. What are you thinking? How the hell did you get Lamb at 5? Lamb, Marv, HN out the gate's ridiculous. I really like this team. I actually agree. If we waited to take Goddard as our first tight end, it probably does make sense to roster 2. And if you waited to take Jordan Love as your first quarterback, I wouldn't mind either if you wanted to roster 2 quarterbacks and play the matchups between the two of them, to be honest. Uriel says, my partner works in marketing and says YouTube shorts help your algorithm and get your videos more recommended in searches. Bada boom, bada bang. That's all I need to hear, my guy. We'll keep doing them. We'll keep doing them. But of course, real quick, if you don't know what we're doing, I stream every single night these Underdog drafts. This is actually the Flock tournament on Underdog. And yeah, if you wanted to hop in a draft with us, you can find that link in the description, comment section, live chat. Underdog Fantasy is best ball, so there's no time commitment at all during the season. So I draft hundreds of teams every year. It's how I won $150,000 on Underdog 2 years ago. And of course, if you go to that link and you use code FLOCK, you're going to get a 50% deposit bonus up to $250. You're going to get my 2024 fantasy football rankings, my 2024 draft guide, my 2024 ADP consensus cheat sheet, plus you'll get a Christian McCaffrey special pick of more than less than half a total yard. But you do need to be in one of these states if you want to draft with us or if you want to just draft on Underdog and period. You can see the map there. Okay. So let's move this down. Terry off the board at pick 50. So that team at 2 is not doing us any favors. We need wide receivers to fall, and we watch them take 5 wide receivers straight. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Not looking pretty, but not the end of the world here. I would have cried if Mark Andrews would have made it to us at 57 and we took Laporta at 33. That would have been no bueno situation for us. T. Foreman, what you doing, my guy? Team goes Jefferson, Kupp, Diggs, Amari. Goes James Cook. Good for us. Good for us. Take as many of these non-wide receivers as you can when I'm only sitting here with one. Christopher says, do you get the deposit bonus if you have an existing account? No, I'm sorry, my friend. The all those underdog offers are only valid for a new account. For a new account with code FLOCK. We will take Keenan Allen to 57. It is a little bit worrisome that Keenan Allen gets to Chicago, can't stop eating deep dish, and all of a sudden is a few extra LBs to shave off before the season starts. But I shot him a DM. I gave my cardio routine. I'm going to get him ready for the season for y'all, so don't you worry. Elig says, favorite Kid Laroi song when you liked him. Let me pull this up. I flexed on everybody for the longest time that I had listened to Kid Laroi a long time before he'd actually gotten popular. I thought it was a flex for whatever reason. So growing up, I really liked Pokemon. Just to let you know this about me. I was a massive Pokemon nerd growing up. So I really liked the Pikachu song. Okay, so Jaden Reed off the board at pick 59. Let's move this over. When we're going to be back up 64, what is awkward is the wider. Who am I supposed to draft at receiver? That's the thing. Kenneth Walker goes 62. As you're looking at running backs, we can get Rachaad White. We can get George Kittle at tight ends, where the best available receivers are Deontay, Rome, and Hollywood. We're going to take Rachaad White, and I'm going to be in a world of pain, and I'm going to regret this, and I'm going to be crying in this live stream 5 minutes from now. But I can't bring myself to take Rome ahead of him. But, oh, yes. If y'all don't know, I mean, y'all think I'm addicted to fantasy football. Like, y'all know how I like something and it becomes my entire life. I've been like that since I was a kid. Pokemon, I just freaking played every single game imaginable. I had an absurd amount of cards. One year for Christmas, because I grew up kind of when the internet and like eBay was just kind of first starting, you know. My mom ordered like 100, it was probably like every Pokemon that there was at the time. Like 150 little like things from China, like these little plastic Pokemon pieces. And they were my favorite things in the world. Yeah, I played cards. I'd take them to school. I freaking love Pokemon more than anything. I will say, even there's a, even when I see them now, I don't know if it's because I grew up and I like them so much. And that's probably what it is. I just have like some deep internal bias with it. And it probably just reminds me of when I was little, yada, yada, yada. But seeing them now, like if I walk by like a little stuffed animal of like Bulbasaur in the store, it just looks so cool to me. I don't know why, but the designs of them, it's like the most beautiful design of anything. Griffin says 12-team PBR. Kyron is a keeper in the 5th. Should I choose Odell, Jamar, Bijan, or Brees if you were to fall? I'm going to go Brees, Bijan, then Jamar, even if we have Kyron. Okay. Yes, I agree, says, the only real ones to know that Fire Red and Leaf Green are the best. Gen 3 is so fun. Yeah, that's what I grew up with. I didn't grow up with my big one. Like me growing up, I was Charizard, Bulbasaur, Squirtle. I know all the ones that were after that for the next like 2 years or so. But the generation that was before the Charizard, Bulbasaur, Squirtle one, I don't know. That was before my time. Okay. Now, James Conner off the board at 94. Hollywood goes 75. That would have been nice for Hollywood to make it to us in round 7 in the last draft, instead of going round 5 in the last draft when we had Mahomes. Okay. JSN off the board at 77. We need wide receiver. This is why us taking Rachaad White is going to be so bad in that last round. Because look at what we are about to be faced with at pick 81. This is me making the same mistake I've made a countless amount of times on Underdog. Where now all of a sudden we're going to be forced to freaking take Jameson Williams at pick 81. Yes, we're forced to take Jameson Williams over Kyler Murray because your boy's an idiot and he decided to draft Rashad White when he very clearly should have taken Roma Dunze. So now wide receiver, we have A.J. Brown, Keenan Allen, Jameson Williams. Running back, we have Jonathan Taylor, Rashad White. Tight end, we have Sam Laporta, Jalen Hurts at quarterback stacked up with A.J. Brown. Okay. Let's move this over. Addison goes 82. It would have been nice to get Addison on the way back around if I didn't have enough Addison to begin with. But now if you look at wide receivers that'll be available to us, Curtis Samuel, I ain't doing it. I refuse. DeAndre Hopkins, Cortland Sutton. Or we play with fire and we wait until in the next rounds we're faced with Shaheed Lockett. So let's see. Saram takes Samuel, so I don't even get the chance. He takes Samuel to pair up with Josh Allen. Jalen Warren off the board at pick 86. What is the move here? We are going to go ahead. We will take DeAndre Hopkins. We'll play catch up at wide receiver. We'll take the guy going into year 12, dealing with the knee injury in a bottom 5 offense, as you so clearly should. So, yeah, this is the punishment that we get for not being smart enough to avoid Rashad White there. But Bill says, great drafting with you as always from the 4-hole. Let's go ahead. Let's dive into this, my guy. What do we do here at pick 4? We take 2 wide receivers through the first 7 rounds. Chase in round 1. Standard. Barkley, pick 21. Great pick. Smith, 28. Great pick. Definitely want a wide receiver in that round. Lamar, 45. And you get the Lamar Andrews stack. Yeah, your team's so much better than mine. Phenomenal squad, my guy. I'm extremely jealous. Great team. I really wish I had it. Kendrick Lamar fan says, is my team good? Burrow, Kamara, Warren, A.J. Brown, Wilson, Diggs, Watson, Spears, Rasheed, Ferguson, Musgrave, Goff. Mainly just focusing on what we can do here at the bottom. So Ferguson, Musgrave. I like the team at the top. Obviously, it's a roster that could use additional play at running back. Thinking about how to solve running back, I don't want to go out there and make you get a trade going soon. All I would say is be quick if Musgrave doesn't have the role that you want week 1. To move on from Musgrave and pick up a running back off waivers to try to bolster that depth and hopefully hit some running back upside off the waiver wire. Now, Gucci coming out says, 10-team happy BR, Kyler, Wilson, Olave, Gibbs, Kamara, Laporta, Kirk, Pickens, Deontay, Rome, Dowdle, Schultz, Moss. What do you think? $50 league. Love the content recently. Much love, my guy. I know you've been with us forever. But anyway. Just going through and looking at this, we have the elite tight end with Laporta. When we have Laporta here in a 10-team league, I don't know if we need to be rostering Schultz. I may try to chase a running back off the waiver wire with a high ceiling. But we have the top receiver running back combo with Wilson Gibbs. We have a top quarterback with Kyler. If we get the ability, I would love to sell like Deontay Johnson and Dalton Schultz to get just any marginal upgrade at wide receiver. And then if we could use that open roster spot to instead pivot over and pick up another running back off waivers. When we have Laporta, I think it's a move that we could probably afford to make. Okay, so here, if we're looking at receivers, Shaheed's the guy. That's not a spot I'm wanting to go on. We'll go ahead and instead we will take Tony Pollard. Now, if this was an eliminator draft, it would be time to panic. If it was an eliminator, we would look at A.J. Brown, week 5 bye. Sam Laporta, week 5 bye. Jalen Hurts, week 5 bye. Jameson Williams, week 5 bye. DeAndre Hopkins, week 5 bye. Tony Pollard, week 5 bye. Like, it would be very, very scary. Here is probably not ideal, but it is what it is. Mason says, is it bad I have Addison and Jefferson in Dynasty? Should I sell them? No, you're good, my guy. Don't worry. I mean, it's obviously bad that McCarthy gets hurt, but that's already baked in their price now. You don't sell them just because you have both of them on the same team. Hoop Dog says, with the recent Gibbs injury between him, Taylor, and Barkley, full PPR format, I still probably go Gibbs. Non-PPR league, probably pivot to Taylor. Half PPR, I think it's up to you in your injury risk tolerance. So moving this over, we could decide to take Caleb Williams here to pair up with Keenan Allen. Definitely don't want to take any more week 5 bye, guys. I'll say that for sure. Singletary goes week 5 buys out the game. We're not wanting to take Spears. We could go with Lockett as our 5th receiver here, but Lockett has been falling like a rock. So instead, we will get Caleb Williams at the 112. Okay, let's move that down. Now, obviously, we're pairing Caleb with Keenan. Daniel says, need help picking 2 keepers, half PPR, 2 receiver, double flex, 12-team league. Tyreek in the 1st, A.J. Brown in the 1st, Kyron in the 14th, ETN in the 12th, Laporte in the 15th. Help me, Mason. Thank you, dude. No, thank you. I will say, typically, the easy answer to give with keepers is, oh, you just want to keep the best guy. Don't overthink the keeper cost. However, if it's a first-round pick versus a 14th-round pick, it is actually a very big deal. So here, instead of going like A.J. Brown in round 1, where you could potentially take him in round 1 anyway, I would rather go Laporta in round 15 and Kyron in round 14, which isn't something I typically say. Mr. Pickle Hut Fader says, will Quinton Johnston go down as your worst take ever? I could go through and I could make a joke about, oh, I've said a million times I don't like Quinton Johnston, blah, blah, blah. Y'all are making me take him. I could do that, but let's be serious here for a second. Me taking Quinton Johnston at wide receiver 75 or whatever his price point is at the moment, we can go ahead and we can pull this up. Wide receiver 79. Me drafting Quinton Johnston at wide receiver 79. If he scores 0 points this season, actually, that's a lie. I mean, we can take it one step further. If me drafting him at wide receiver 79, the only thing that ever happens is Quinton Johnston has 20 fumbles for 0 yards and negative 40 points this year, it will still not come close to my worst take of all time. Do you have any idea how many bad takes I've had? Do you have any idea how atrocious some of them have been, how severe some of them have been? To think that the wide receiver 79 disappointing could come close to me saying that Puka had no upside, my guy. You need to think about that twice. Okay, let's go ahead. If we're looking at this, Benson does have a high ceiling for the long term. Is a tournament we're kind of thinking long term with? We'll take Benson. He is falling a decent amount. Obviously, in the marathon, the eliminator, you're not necessarily too incentivized to take him in formats like that. Here, I think it's okay to grab him as RB4. Alex says, thoughts on Team 3, first draft. I get in with you. Been waiting for years. Hell yes, my guy. Super happy to hear it. Let's go ahead. Let's check this out. Team 3, we go Tyreek, Olave, Kyron. Love it. Wide receiver, Kyron. We get ETN at a value at 46. We get the elite quarterback with Kincaid. I don't like taking Stroud there at 70. I know he's the falling value, but the issue with Stroud is you don't have any of the Texans' options. And with Stroud in particular, he doesn't have the rushing upside where it makes sense more so to take him if you draft Diggs, Nico, or Dell. Hollywood at 75, fine value. Brooks at 94, I like. Moss at 99, I like. Myers, Tua. Yeah, I like pairing up Tua with Tyreek. Really, I like the draft. The only thing that I can point out that I maybe wasn't a big fan of is going through and taking Stroud where you did. Okay. Now let's move this over. So quarterback, if I could get in a time machine and I could go do the Breaking Bad Walter White screaming in the car, no, don't do it, don't do it. If I could do that and scream at me to not take Caleb Williams where we did, I would, so we could have gotten Jared Goff instead. Jared Goff here would pair up with Jameson, blah, 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 blah. But sadly, we don't live in that reality, so I'm not going to be able to do that. We are probably just going to have to go ahead and take Ezekiel Elliott. This team needs a wide receiver more than anything. So if I could get in that time machine, I could go scream, no, don't do it. With drafting Rachaad White, yeah, sign me up. I'll go in that machine, but I can't take Jahan Dotson over Ezekiel Elliott. He's not even locked into being the wide receiver 2 in Washington. I can't take Josh Downs, who's not even locked into being the wide receiver 2 in Indy, dealing with a high ankle sprain, over Ezekiel Elliott. So we'll take Zeke here at RB5. We're done drafting quarterback. We're done drafting running back. Please, God, give me some wide receiver help sometime soon. 44 MSU says 12-team PPR single flex. Do quarterback tight end stacks matter as much as just grabbing 2 elite guys? Also, what receivers should I be targeting in the rounds 5 through 8 and running backs after? I actually have a video coming out tomorrow that will talk about the running backs after my guy. But in your regular redraft league, the wide receivers I'm going to be targeting in the middle rounds will be those guys that had strong rookie seasons going into year 2. Examples of those players would be Zay Flowers, Tank Dell, Jaden Reed. I've done mock drafts where I'm getting them there in the middle rounds. And then in your regular redraft league, stacks don't matter nearly as much as they do on Underdog. But where you can, I would go with them. Say, hypothetically, if you took, say, Lamar in round 4, or you take Lamar in round 3, and then in round 4, you have the choice between McBride, Andrews, and you have them ranked relatively close, I'd probably go ahead and take Andrews. Alex's thoughts on team 3. I think we just got to that. Maybe I'm out of order here. But Young OG says 10-team PPR. Quarterback, we have Dak and Goff. Running back, we have Barkley, Walker, Najee, or Madre Javante. Wide receiver, we have St. Brown, Ayuk, McLaurin, Hollywood, Dobbs, Mike Williams. Tight end, we have Andrews. I agree with those quarterbacks. Those are the range that we take 2. We play the matchups between them. We have a ton of running back on this team, a ton of wide receiver production. We have the elite tight end, only rostering 1. I think it makes a lot of sense. Seems like it has a lot of value and is constructed in the right way. Okay. Now let's move this over. On God says, can I please trade away Freiermuth and Pacheco for Pitts and Walker? Yeah, you can if you want. If you're all in on Walker catching the ball. Duran says, okay to take Lamb 101 in a 12-team full PPR, debating to go 0 RB. If you can start 4 more wide receivers in a full PPR format, then yes. If it's a league where you can only start 2 wide receivers in 1 flex, that's not a format you can go 0 RB in. Here's what we are looking at, ladies and gentlemen. Wide receiver, tight end through the rest of this draft. Nothing else matters. Nothing else. Sticky Ricky off the board to pick 150. Michael Wilson goes 151. R.I.P. Mason. Demario Douglas goes. Adam Thielen, come on down. Ooh, nothing gets my juices flowing like drafting Adam Thielen around 13. Ooh, I love the decisions I made to get me to this point. It is what it is. I told y'all, as soon as I took Rachaad White, I knew deep down that I'd be crying 5 minutes later in this draft, which is exactly what's happening right this second. It's like my brain knows this is not a good idea. My heart screams, do it for the love of the game. And now we are in a position where we get the exciting decision. And oh my gosh, I could not be more excited for this. We get to choose between Rashad Bateman, Tyler Conklin, DeMarcus Robinson. Ooh. We'll go ahead and we'll take Rashad Bateman here, pick 160. Thank you very much, you suckers in the rest of this draft, for letting me scoop up this phenomenal value. Okay, let's smooth this down. Now, P. Boda says, just drafted my first best ball mania on Underdog. Is this beginner's luck? Pick 4, Lamb, 21, Olave. Kyron, yeah, this is ridiculous. I can't believe got Lamb at 4. Josh Allen at 45. Andrews 52. Yes, this is my guy. I wouldn't bother drafting another team on Best Ball Mania. It ain't getting better than that one. Okay. I think you pack it in for the year. You show up. I mean, what's the saying? Show up, piss excellence, and then just leave. Great team, my guy. I'm jealous. Diazico says, hey, Mason, 10 team, 2 receiver, 1 flex. Need advice where to draft in a league where quarterbacks and tight ends get drafted highly. Quarterbacks and tight ends are very important in that league, so I don't blame them for getting drafted highly. If we're looking at, I mean, I still think you just wait for wide receiver values in the rounds in that format. You take 3 running backs extremely early if you want. If quarterback tight end's going to go higher than you would like. And then maybe you get some running back values you're cool with. But let's see. Marshawn Lloyd makes it down to 169. Yours says, are you in any leagues or just Underdog? So I'm in a bunch of dynasty leagues. And this year I'm actually doing a really big redraft league with a bunch of fantasy football YouTubers. It's actually going to be called the Flock League. We're going to have an entire dedicated YouTube channel just covering the league, all the drama in the league. We're going to try to make it like the League FX show, if y'all have ever seen that before. But yeah, I'll send y'all the link if y'all want to follow along. We're actually going to have our live draft in about 6 days, and we'll turn it into a video. We're going to do a bunch of content on it the next week. You dirty dog. Res Dog takes our guy from us. Are you freaking kidding me? Tyler Conklin talked about taking him potentially in the last round. Here we go. Join the team, Conklin. Join the squad. But yeah, I'll grab the link if y'all want to follow. This is going to be a league that has massive punishment for last place. Should be a massive reward for getting first place. This will honestly, and I'm in a $1,000 underdog draft, and this will probably be the league I care most about this year. So I'll get y'all the link if y'all wanted to follow along. The YouTube channel is not going to be like fantasy football advice. It's more going to be like behind the scenes, fun stuff, crap like that. More like entertainment rather than advice. But the link is in the live chat if anybody wanted to see that. It's just called Flock League. Duran says, so do I have to go CMC? Hate having London as my wide receiver 1. Otherwise, receivers, the 2-3 Turner, Nico, Cup, Debo, Ayuk. Stressed about not having a good wide receiver core. If it's a 2 wide receiver 1, we'll go Burton. I'm fine with Burton. If it's a 2 wide receiver 1 flex, my guy, don't stress. You'll find wide receiver values late. Do not stress. Now, if it's a league where you start like 3 wide receivers, 2 flex, full PPR format, then yeah, sure, go CeeDee Lamb. Because you can still then take advantage of the wide receiver values in the middle rounds. But if we hit Hammer highlights, if we hit 900 likes on this stream, we'll fire up another draft after this one. I have no idea how many we're at right now. If someone wants to let me know in the live chat, that could be useful. Charlie says, going into my Sunday redraft as a member of the Flock, as always, my guy. I joined in week 8 of last year. Maybe my memory is bad because it seems like you've been with us longer than that. Your lives and answers have prepared me. Do you have any advice? Full PBR, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex before Sunday. Much love, my guy. Full PBR, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex. That's not going to be a league that's very easy to exploit by taking an elite quarterback and an elite tight end. Instead, that's going to be a very well-balanced format where if you have wide receiver values that you like, there in rounds 3 and 4, you can definitely soak them up. I think you just kind of have a well-balanced approach and try to take guys that you like across the board, which I know is very boring. I would love to have like a strategy that you could use to exploit those league settings. You just really can't. Okay. Looks like we're at 925. NRG, my guy, you better be at this Flock meetup. You better be there. I'm counting on it. But I will pull up my phone and I'll drop a like on the stream. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we're 30 away or so. Platinum Pete says, hey, Mason, is Jacobs or Rashad the better running back too? Definitely Jacobs and a much better offense. Wombrad says, new to best ball, normal to go 6 receivers, 6 running backs, 3 tight ends, 3 quarterbacks. You can. That's a situation in which you go wide receiver early and often. What I would advise for anybody new to best ball, draft 2 to 3 quarterbacks. Like this league, I drafted Jalen Hurts and Caleb Williams. I'm only going to draft 2 QBs. Draft 2 to 3 quarterbacks, 5 to 6 running backs, 2 to 3 tight ends, and the rest of your slots will be wide receiver. On God, good night, my guy. Happy to see you. Saram says, with some positive news about Gibbs, would you still take Gibbs at 8 or 9 in a shallow 12-team league? Any concerns about the injury? I definitely think you have to be concerned about it, and I probably would no longer take Gibbs at 8 or 9, to be honest with you. I think you probably instead have to pivot to A.J. Brown at pick 9 or any of the top 8 guys that go. Like if you look at I know you're in this draft with us right now, my guy. If you look at any of those players that went inside the top 8, if they make it to you, they're easy auto picks. But we are wide receiver, tight ends. If we're looking for another player, take Roman Wilson here and then take one more tight ends. Let me see. Are we going to hit the 900 or is this our last pick? We got 10 likes away. We'll see. Coming down to the very last second. Now, the Flock tournament is a 3 max entry. So if we do get in another draft tonight, we are not going to be able to do the Flock tournament. It would have to be, I'm not going to do the puppy, to be honest with you. What sounds appealing to me about the puppy is the fact that it's a shorter timer. That sounds nice. But what kind of sounds like it sucks is the $5 buy-in. I kind of need to fill in my Best Ball Mania teams. I think we're going to go ahead. We're going to take Gesicki here as our 3rd tight end. But I'll show the team real quick. If you really want to see it, you can pause it. All jokes aside, fine team. Don't love it. Don't hate it. Probably the Rachaad White pick was not a great one, but it is what it is. We really need to hit on one of those rookie wide receivers. But let's go ahead. Let's get another draft going. The plan is Best Ball Mania's, filling fast. I only have 20. I have 25 teams I still want to draft. And we don't have that much time left. So we're going to go ahead. We will hop in a Best Ball Mania. If you don't know, I will run through real quick. This is the largest fantasy football tournament on the planet. This is a $25 buy-in, $15 million prize pool, $1.5 million for first. The top 20 places all get at least $100,000, which is very nice because I got a 16th place in Best Ball Mania a couple years ago. And back then the payout structure was a little more top heavy. Like first place was $3 million. So I only got $10,000 for 16th. But regardless, my favorite tournament to get in this year. And I actually do like the flat payout structure a lot more. James says, weird league for fun. 1 point per yard. Any advice? My God. 1 point per yard means touchdowns and receptions aren't going to matter. Don't treat it as if it's a league where touchdowns and receptions don't matter, because they're going to make up such a low percentage of the points that actually are accounted for in that league. So I don't know, my guy. I've never played in a league where you're getting 1 point per yard. Amon says 12 team PPR, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. I picked 10. Should I reach on Laporte in the second? What do you think? Oh, no, don't reach on Laporte in the second. I'd rather grab like Andrews in the 4th there. I definitely agree that we want to take a top tight end, but you can't do it at the 202 or 203, wherever it is. Chase off the board at pick 4. Jefferson goes 5. See what Matt does here. Brees goes. So we're actually going to go ahead and get Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love it. I mean, I think it's much easier to start these underdog drafts wide receiver in round 1. So when I make the idiotic decision to take Rachaad White in round 6 and completely throw our draft out the window, at least we have some wide receiver points. We have some hope. I don't know how much, but above 0. Okay. Now, after we take St. Brown, Bijan, A.J. Brown, Wilson, Puka all off the board, so no big surprises there. JC says, I have a 10-team PPR draft coming up. Have Lamb as a keeper. How valuable is elite quarterback and tight end in my format in the single flex where we have the 12th pick? Which quarterback tight end is the best value? If it's a 10-team league, I don't know if we have the 12th pick. But 100%, if it's a 10-team league with only one flex and only 2 wide receivers, if you go watch the video talking about exploiting your league mates, it is going to be a league where you are highly incentivized to get an elite quarterback and elite tight end. If you go like Lamar Andrews at the 2-3 turn or the 3-4 turn, whenever it is, I would really like that move. So Harrison goes at 13. Nico goes 14. Oh, let me update the buy-in here for everyone. Oh, I have the coolest things to show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all this real quick. This is so freaking cool. Y'all have no idea. Like, it's like one of the most exciting things that I have gotten in God knows how long. We're going to take Saquon Barkley here at pick 18. I can't freaking wait to show you all this. I think y'all are going to really like it too. Going St. Brown Barkley, I think it's a high upside start where it gives us a ton of flexibility as well. I mean, if we would have had a wide receiver making it to us that we would have really liked, then sure. But, I mean, I think Barkley can reasonably be the number 1 option in fantasy at running back this year. Is it highly likely? No, but I think it's in the range of outcomes. Check this out. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. They're such high quality. Dear God, is it not going to let me upload this file type? No screenshot. Dear God, come on. Okay, we got a screenshot. I'm getting y'all both pictures. Y'all are gonna love this. I know we're rambling. I know this is taking a while, but it's cool enough to just wait a bit. Look what came in the mail today. Look at this. This thing is legit too. Like, I could go out there and I could tackle someone in this thing. This is a heavy duty. This thing is a real helmet. And those aren't just stickers. That's like in the helmet. Tell me this is not the coolest thing ever. Come on. I got so excited when I pulled those out of the box. Like, very rarely do like physical things excite me. But that was something where I was losing my mind. We'll go ahead. We'll take Derrick Henry. I'm sorry, not Derrick Henry. DK Metcalf. We need wide receiver production when we go Barkley round 2. But yes. Yes, I have a big head. But I am excited about it. And we're about to make a bunch of in-person videos, and that's going to be like set up in a studio for it too. Joe Mama, long time member of the flock. Pick 12 in a 12-team PPR regular dynasty league. We do one keeper by the round that they were drafted. Do I keep CMC in the first or Laporte in the 16th? Thanks. Good to be here for another season. Much love, my guy. It's a dynasty league, and Laporte is 16th versus CMC in the first. I think you make an argument for Laporta. If it's only a one-player keeper, I think you go you go Laporta because there's going to be a great option at pick 12. If it is like a league where you get to keep 5 guys and this comes down to your last spot, then pick 12 is not going to be nearly as valuable. And there, I think you can go ahead and I think you can instead go with CMC. Teresa says, time for an autographed helmet auction. I actually think the company that sent us the helmet may sell them. May sell the flock helmets. If y'all would want one, like a miniature one. I don't have the link on me. I'll eventually throw it in the description though. But the small Texas helmet is that'll be a thing of the past. Now from on game day, I'm wearing the flock helmet. Okay, but let's see. Kelsey, Diggs, Laporta, Pacheco off the board afterwards. Let's see. Ayuk fell to pick 29 here. Devontae Adams makes it to the 3rd. Can y'all please let me know, is there something that I'm missing with Devontae Adams? Y'all know, we've been talking down on this guy for a very long time now. I'm not going to sit here and act like he shouldn't be falling, but is there a reason why it's all of a sudden happening now? Is there a reason it's happening now? Amon Flowers says, based on your exploit video, I have the 10th pick of my 12-team single flex league going A.J. Brown, JT, then Hurts. Yes, 100%. Yes, go that direction, my friend. Okay. SDS is not to get political, but I think you'd be a lock for president. My friend, if I ran for president, the quickest thing that they could do is throw that Puka tweet out and go, how could we possibly put somebody this dumb in an important position? And then that ship would get shut down real quick. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take Allen. When Allen makes it to you at pick 42, you take Josh Allen. You don't think twice because Kincaid may make it to you at 55 and Keon Coleman may make it to you at 79. So it is an absolute no-brainer to go Josh Allen here. And of course, real quick, if you don't know what we're doing, we are drafting on Underdog. So we draft every single day. Done it every day for years. Best ball, no time committed all during the season. So I draft hundreds of teams every year. Won $150,000 on Underdog 2 years ago. If you want to join a draft with us, you can find that link in the description, in the comment section, in the live chat. If you use code FLOCK, you're going to get my 2024 rankings, 2024 Fantasy Football Draft Guide, 2024 ADP Consensus Cheat Sheet, a 50% deposit bonus up to $250, and a Christian McCaffrey special pick'em more than less than half a total yard. So make sure you take advantage of that. Hop in a draft with us. We just did 3 flock tournament drafts on Underdog. Okay. So after we take Allen, you have Hurts, McBride, Lamar, Kincaid. Yes, Teresa. Flock meetup, August 22nd, Austin, Texas, if anybody was asking. So a meetup coming up very soon. You can see all the information right there on the screen if you are interested in coming and hanging out with me and a bunch of other people who like fantasy football. Okay. So Amari makes it all the way down to 48. Kincaid goes 46. Sucks for us, obviously, when we take Josh Allen there at 42. We're really hoping that Kincaid's going to make it back to us at 55. But it is what it is. Yes. The Flock meetup's 1 week from today. Ryan says, what time do you usually go live? So it just depends, because where I live, we have really bad reception. So whenever I live stream, my girlfriend has to stand on the roof with a long antenna holding it up. So it depends when she gets home. And when she's good to go on the roof and hold up the antenna, that's typically whenever I go live, my friend. But so that's usually anywhere from like 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. But around then. Okay. Terry McLaurin off the board of pick 51. Let's move this over. This is the Lamar team, so you'd assume that they go Andrews. This is Desire Best. This is a member of the flock right here. Henry says she's a real one for that. Yes, she is. Every night I hear, oh my gosh, you had to stream for 2 hours. My arm was so tired. That antenna is so heavy, blah, blah, blah. But she's got to pull her own weight. Okay. ACR says, which girlfriend? I figured it was obvious. She's the antenna girlfriend. But let's see what Matt Porter does. Are we going to get Christian Kirk? Has minor calf injury. Kirk goes, so we don't even have to bother reading it. I will take Calvin Ridley. Yeah, we're going to go ahead. We will take Calvin Ridley. Maybe Ridley comes out. Great season with the Hopkins injury. Maybe. Possibly. Hopefully. We know we probably want another wide receiver, so we're not in a position that we were in the last draft, though. Amon says, love the ADP cheat sheet. Would be sick to organize it by position. Whenever I update it on Sunday, my guy, I'll see if I can find a way to do that. I'll add position as a column. How about that? I'll add position on a column in the Google sheet. It'll take a bunch of time. I'm sure there's an easier way for me to create that ADP consensus cheat sheet every week. It takes a ton of time. What's nice is since I don't have to really be thinking, I get to, right now I'm watching Better Call Saul, so I get to have that going on a separate monitor. But, yeah, it does just take so much time. Now, after we go Ridley, you have Worthy, Reed, Anthony Racinso, a bunch of receivers going off the board. So it does make me feel a little bit better about our decision to go with Ridley where we did. Mr. Picklehoot Fader says, Mason, have you thought about investing in a lightweight antenna? To be honest with you, my guy, I specifically make sure the antenna's heavy so she gets a good workout going. So she gets nice and meaty arms. Jacked as hell arms, I'll tell you that much. I mean, shoulders that are just freaking capped. Okay. Now, Rachaad White off the board of pick 62. Joe Mixon goes 63. What are we looking for here? Kittle goes 64. I know some people would have made an argument to go Kittle. We had the bring back for St. Brown week 17. This team in front of us has Kelsey with Mahomes, so you assume that they pass on Pitts. So we'll take Pitts here at 66. Kenneth Walker is definitely exciting. I haven't drafted a ton of Kyle Pitts, but I do think Pitts has been drafted at the 5-6 turn all offseason. So it should be somewhat of a unique-ish team pick for us here. Now, here's what we need to do. We need to do some voodoo magic, some draft curse to make sure that Keon Coleman makes it to us at 79. I don't have my own ritual dance perfected. If any of y'all watching this do, I'd really appreciate it if you put down the phone. Do a little dance so Keon Coleman can make it to us at 79. We can pair him up with Josh Allen. Would be very beneficial. Okay. Kenneth Walker, Dave Montgomery, DeAndre Swift go. Great for Swift to go. Like any of these guys that are going well before ADP, we love to see it because it makes it a little more likely that we end up getting Keon making it to us. Vinny just did the robot for us. Alex says, don't you have a girlfriend specifically for that Mason a Voodoo dance? Well, that's why I'm having to ask y'all to do it right now because she's on PTO. So that's right now a position that's not filled at the moment. Mike out here doing the Keon Coleman dance. Come on. Let's get it going. Let's get the Keon Coleman dance going. Paul says 103, 12-team standard PPR. We're going to go Lamb, Brees, Tyreek. If it's a 2 wide receiver, actually, honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to rank it Lamb, Tyreek, Brees Hall in a full PPR format. Okay. Now, Christian Watson goes 73. It's my sights are set. Hopefully one of these. This team has tanked Dell. Hopefully they take freaking Stroud. Yeah, what we really want is we really want this team to take Stroud here. Because none of the teams after have Houston receivers. Okay, good. Yeah, none of the teams after had Houston receivers. So I figured if that team passed on Stroud, we were probably in a position that Stroud was not going to go, which made it more likely Keon did. Come on. Okay, one down. Another one bites the dust. Let's go. Come on. D Brandy on the clock. Another one bites the dust. We're one away. We are one away. Let's go. Fired up GG. Anybody else who entered into Best Ball Mania? Your boy just won it. Send me my $1.5 million now. I will accept a cashier's check. I will accept a money transfer. Of course, money transfer, of course. I'll accept it in pesos. I'll accept it in yen. I'll accept it in euros. I'm out of currencies, I know. So we are going to roll with St. Brown, DK Metcalf, Ridley, Keon at wide receiver. Barkley holding down the fort at running back. Josh Allen stacked with Keon Coleman, Kyle Pitts. I owe a massive thank you to everybody who performed the Keon Coleman dance, who sat that phone down, did the robot, did the shuffle, did the Macarena. Whatever you did, it worked, and I applaud you for it. Hartnell says, getting a bit ahead of yourself, Mason. You don't even have the big Q yet. We should call Quinton Johnston the big Q. I like that. Quinton Johnston from here on out is the big Q. Let's do it. Quinton Johnston's the big Q. That's really funny, my guy. Now Zamir off the board of 184. Paul says, if I go Lamb Tyreek, do you like Jacobs Achane as the hero RB? I prefer Achane probably over Jacobs. But yeah, if you can go either running back in round 3 after going, I'm assuming you're saying at the 2-3 turn. Yeah, I'd be okay with it for sure. Jacobs at the 2-3 turn is a little rich though. Augusta says, I'll hold the Wi-Fi antenna if I can hang out at your lake house. To be honest with you, my guy, like I said, I already have one of the girlfriends on it, and the wait list for the antenna job is pretty long. I think right now there are 4 people waiting in the wings. If you send me your resume, send me a video of you holding approximately a 15-pound dumbbell overhead without shaking for about 2 hours, then I can maybe get you on the wait list. but you probably wouldn't be seeing antenna action for the next 10 or 15 years or so. So you definitely need to make sure you're staying in shape. We'll take Ramondre Stevenson here. A range where probably starts to make sense to pivot over to some of these other running backs. If you look at the wide receivers that are here, they're kind of gross. We can afford to go with running back here when we have the elite quarterback. We have a respectable tight end. We have good wide receiver production. Let's go. Ryan says, if I haven't used Underdog before, should I do Best Ball Mania or which other draft? If you are new to Underdog, I highly recommend you doing the Puppy 3 draft. The Puppy 3 draft is the $5 buy-in. And there at the $5 buy-in, say you deposited $10 on Underdog, they added another $5 into your account. There you could do 3 drafts. So I would highly recommend you, if you are new to Underdog, do the lowest buy-in drafts that you can, because it really is for fun. It really is for practice for your main leagues as well. Obviously, once you have a bunch of experience, then you could possibly do higher stakes drafts if you're comfortable with it, but I definitely recommend to do the lower stakes ones. Okay. Glimpse says, girlfriend mock draft, question mark. My guy, then I would have to be holding the antenna, and I don't think I'm strong enough to do it. Okay. Soup says, I think maxing the flock is the way to go. I would say that, honestly, I would probably recommend if it would either the flock or the flock tournament or BBM. I mean, sorry, not BBM, the puppy. My thing in recommending the puppy tournament over the flock tournament for people that are like brand new is you can do 2 puppy tournaments. 2 puppy drafts for the cost of 1 flock draft. Teresa says, girlfriend did a draft with us one night. It was epic. Yeah, the girlfriend did come in and do a draft. Adrian, welcome to being a member of the flock, my guy. Happy to have you. Now, let's move this over. I know what I want here. I don't know if it's going to work out, but we'll see. Jake asking to see the dog. We'll see. We'll see if she wants to come in here. Miley girl. Miley girl, come here, baby. We'll see if she comes. What's the news on Njoku dealing with soreness? Do not care about that. Romeo Dobbs, not a big fan of in this range. Joshua Palmer, the wide receiver 3 behind Ladd in the big Q. Spears goes. Okay, this is what we are wanting. We want David Njoku to pair up with Pitts and only have to draft 2 tight ends. Let's freaking go. Let's go. But it looks like the girl does not want to come in here. That is very disappointing. Now, Jay Stoisy says, 18 PPR single flex draft. Jefferson, JT, Allen, Laporta. 8-team league single flex. Hell yes, getting Allen, Laporta. Walker, London, Smith, Waddle, Higgins. See, this is the thing. You're going to, in this style league, you're just going to get so many wide receivers that are great that you like have so many you don't know what to do with. Warren Brown, Javonte, Jaden, Goddard, Browns. Yes, 100%. Love it, my guy. That's exactly how you exploit that league. Okay, so after we take Njoku, we are hoping that tight ends begin to kind of fly off this board. TGL says, I've entered in 3 big eliminators and got picks 11, 11, and 12. Ouch, that is tough, my guy. That is tough. Okay. So let's move this over. Right now we're sitting with Josh Allen at quarterback. Running back, we have Barkley, Ramondre Stevenson. Wide receiver, we have St. Brown, Metcalf, Ridley, Keon. Tight end, we have Pitts and Njoku. Adrian says, I have the 103, having trouble at the 2-3 turn. Any suggestions? I think if it's a league that's a full PPR format where you can start 4 more wide receivers, you're probably wanting to go with one of your favorite receivers there. If it's a league where you only start 2 wide receivers and 1 flex, I think you go with a running back like Kyron or Achane if either one fall, and then pair them up with either an elite quarterback or an elite tight end. How long have we been streaming? 2 hours and 15? Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Okay. So we can definitely go with the running back if we like one here. In terms of quarterback, Purdy doesn't make sense. I would love to get Kittle instead of Pitts, but it is what it is. I'm originally Green says, do you know if Underdog will do a little eliminator this year? I have no idea, my guy. Rob Touchdownsky says, are the redraft rankings updated for Gibbs? They should be. If you're on flockfantasy.com, do you mind letting me know where Gibbs is ranked right now? And of course, just to make sure you're looking at my rankings, hit filter, add Mason Dodd. So you can sort by the community, which is everybody who uses flockfantasy.com. You can sort by expert, which are the expert rankings that are submitted to flockfantasy.com, which include mine, but they're all averaged out. Or you can hit filter, add Mason Dodd, and you can just see mine. TJ says, 24-hour stream for Flock Fantasy. If we had 300,000 subs in 2 weeks, yes, we'll do a 24-hour stream. But outside of that, my guy, it ain't happening. It is not happening. Okay. Marty says, dude, I just watched the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. It's so good. Can y'all let me know in the chat if you've seen it and if it's good? Because when I was in France, and we actually have one of the developers of flockfantasy.com lives in Europe too. And he confirmed what I thought. When I was in France this summer, the amount of the Deadpool and Wolverine advertisements, it was freaking nuts. They were advertising it everywhere. Everywhere. I just looked it up. It has 215,000 reviews on IMDb and an 8.1. Let's see. Saw it twice. It's great. Awesome movie. Pretty good. Seen it 3 times. You went to the movie theaters 3 times, or is it in streaming? It's amazing, not going to lie. I probably won't be able to watch it just because I don't have time during the season. And if I do have time and I watch, all jokes aside, my girlfriend's not going to watch that with me. So that would have to be one that I watch by myself. And if I somehow find time over the next 4 months to watch a movie, if I don't watch one with her, she's going to lose her mind. So Glim says, my first theater movie in a while, and it didn't disappoint. Pudgy says, so good, just as good as the first one. I'll throw it on the list, and I'm assuming, is it, I'm not big with superhero movies. I don't know. Is it Marvel? It's not Marvel, is it? No, it's not Marvel. So I don't know. I don't think it would be on Disney Plus. Whatever it ends up being. Whatever it's on, once it's on streaming. When football season starts slowing down for me in like November, I can probably watch it in November. And I will watch it. And if y'all are still hanging out with me in November, I'll give you my report on it then. Jordan says, 10-team PPR ESPN, what's my draft strategy and what's the best pick to have? Been loving the content watching this year. 10-team league, wide receiver is going to be easy to come by. Slam middle rounds, unless it's a league where you can start like 5 or more receivers. Paul says, Lamb, Dak, Andrews, Lamar, Kyler. What would be your favorite stack for value in team structure in an ESPN setup? Pick 3 struggling. My favorite stack here would be the Lamb, Dak one. And then in terms of the favorite structure in a 12-team PPR ESPN league, main thing is middle round receiver, early round getting an elite 1C position, and late round running back. And also getting in a running back in the early rounds too. Rob Touchdownsy says you have Gibbs ranked 9th overall as of 8/12. I probably need to move Gibbs down to 10th overall behind A.J. Brown. So I'll do that after this live stream, my friend. But we'll go ahead. We'll take Gus Edwards. If you look at the tier of running back that's about to fall out, I don't know if we'll have a running back that we like making it back around to us at 138. We should have some of these wide receivers if you look at how ADP's lined up at the moment. So we will go ahead and we will take Gus. Looks like Vidal's not making the team. I still expect it to be a decent offense. I mean, the thing is, if you look at how elite wide receivers just make overall offenses better, like you see what Tyreek Hill did whenever he went over to Miami. We see it just time and time again. You see how Justin Jefferson makes a bum starting quarterbacks last year look decent. The Chargers offense, is just going to be good when you have Big Q holding down the fort. When Big Q is the engine of your offense, the floor ceiling combo there is just so damn high, and there should be so many touchdown opportunities for Edwards, or at least so many red zone trips. The question is obviously how many of those red zone trips does Big Q just grab the ball? But let's move this down. Dan says, 10-team happy BR, Puka round 15 keeper, 2 receiver, 1 flex, don't know draft position, strategy options. You're the best, thanks. If I were you, I most likely would not be taking wide receiver in the early rounds, specifically in a 10-team happy BR, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. We're already keeping Puka. For sure, keep Puka. That's a phenomenal spot. But I don't know if we would want to just take like Garrett Wilson out the gate and then really not be able to take advantage of the receiver values in the middle rounds. Okay. Chandler off 134. So looking at this, Goff will for sure be in play for us, right? When we have a Amon-Ra St. Brown. If we decide to take Jared Goff, it will be our last quarterback that we decide to select. That team goes Polk, so we will take Jared Goff here at 138. Pair him up with Amon-Ra St. Brown. We're done at quarterback. We're done at tight ends. We're going to get one more running back. It's going to be a 2-5-9-2 builds, which is not my favorite on Underdog at the moment just because some of these wide receivers late are disgusting. But Cam says, I have a weird league, happy BR, double flex. I have the 3rd pick, debating the top 2 receivers, CMC or Brees. Any strategy tips with no tight end slot? Stupid simple. You just don't draft a tight end, my guy. Like, Laporta legitimately falls to being a pick that goes in rounds 8, round 9. And I'd rather just not draft the tight end at all. Happy BR league where you essentially can start up to 4 receivers from week to week perspective. I think I rank these guys with the 3rd pick. CMC 1, Lamb 2, Tyreek 3. And then wide receiver, you can start 4. So I do think they bump up. And if you wanted to go receiver at the 2-3 turn, you can. Philip, welcome to being a member of the flock, my guy. I think I just saw an email from you, unless I'm mistaken. Let me make sure. I saw the email from you saying you got a hotel for Austin. Sent confirmation. I hold in those flock tickets, meetup tickets for you, my guy. Got you. Excited to hang out with you at the meetup. And yeah, thank you so much for coming to hang out with me as well. Thank you. And I can use that as a launching point as well. If you are also like Philip, and if you are coming to Austin specifically for the flock meetup next Thursday, the 22nd, and you are out of town, so you need to get a hotel, like I said, the only reason that we are selling tickets to the meetup, which they're only $15, is because I need to tell the venue how many people are coming. But if you send me like a hotel confirmation and you say, Mason, I need 2 tickets, obviously I'll hold them for you for free because I can write you down on a list and go, okay, he got a hotel. I know he's coming. So excited, my guy. Thank you. I'll see you next Thursday. Okay. But yeah, if you need to know where to email me at, mason.flockfantasy.com. Don't email me with any junk. The only thing I'm going to respond to is if you send me that email confirmation saying, hey, I got a hotel for the meetup. I need 3 tickets. I'm bringing my wife and my kid. I need 3 tickets. Just let me know. Dude says, and a 10-team PPR single flex, who should I target first 4 picks at the 106? 106, you're going to hopefully, if you can get Breece Bijan, that's great. If not, you're going to be looking at a wide receiver like Chase or St. Brown. The middle of the second, probably running back. The third and fourth, probably QB and tight end. And a 10-team, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex league. Just because that's the format you can exploit. And then you're just going to slam wide receivers in rounds 5 on. You'll take like 4 or 5 receivers straight. Okay, so we cannot take a quarterback. We cannot take a tight end. We are exclusively running back, wide receiver through the rest of this draft. If we knew that Ayuk was going to get dealt for sure, Sticky Ricky was the pick. I was actually going to go Xavier Legette. I really do like Xavier Legette at this price point. But now we're going to take Sticky Ricky. We're going to roll the dice and go, what happens if Ayuk does get dealt? And Sticky Ricky's a round 1 NFL draft pick in what projects to be the best offense in the NFL. Still take him. Okay. Now at wide receiver, we are sitting with St. Brown, DK Metcalf, Calvin Ridley, Keon Coleman, Sticky Ricky. Running back, we have Barkley, Ramondre, Javonte, Gus Edwards. Tight end, we have Pitts and Njoku. Quarterback, we have Allen and Goff. Then he says, number 5 in your top 5 players. You can't stop drafting. I was surprised by that one. The thing is with Legette, he's fallen a considerable amount over the past month in these underdog drafts. You're getting the injury discount on him for a player that's no longer injured. So, like, Legette's also a great example of someone in your regular redraft league that would never make a difference. However, on Underdog, he has the upside too. Specifically on Underdog, he can. But like in your regular redraft league, if he's the wide receiver 30, like who cares? Flamingo says, thanks for the flowers and dinner, Mason. My mom really appreciate it. Well, I mean, I really appreciate her, my guy. So, yeah, no, tell her thank you. It was a lot of fun. But let's move this. Okay, I can't move on. That was pretty funny, my guy. Let's move this on. Running back and wide receiver. We're at 162 here. What's the deal with Chuba Hubbard? Injures knee at practice. Said that there are big concerns, but initial testing looks good. Hubbard was looked at by the trainers. Probably not a good sign. Bad offense. Jonathan Brooks will be the guy at the end of the year. You just take Marshawn Lloyd and call it a day. We'll take Marshawn Lloyd. I don't feel good about it. I mean, Marshawn Lloyd could potentially be the running back 3 here. But it's a good offense. He can catch the ball. Vast majority of underdog drafts, he has gotten selected higher than this. So we'll go ahead and we'll take him. K Squared says, finally gotten a draft to the 10th spot. How bad is it? Let's check this out, my guy. Wilson Taylor out the gate. Laporta, Flowers, Richardson. So if we go Richardson here at 58, we are kind of committing ourselves to then deciding to go ahead and to look for Josh Downs or A.D. Mitchell later on. Mixon at 63, Addison, Hopkins, Dobbs, Cooks, Mike Williams, Algier, Rogers, Hunter Henry. Richard's someone we can have unstacked based off the rushing upside. I just would prefer to go with like Josh Downs, A.D. Mitchell, if you got the ability to. A.D. Mitchell does go pick 119 here, though. So I guess we just kind of whiffed on. We didn't whiff. The Colts guys went too high for us to get those secondary options. I'd probably, we only have one tight end right now. I'd probably at least look to grab like Jelani Woods in the last round. Paul says, if you get 2 receivers, 1 running back in rounds 1 through 3, are we still taking Lamar Andrews the 4-5 turn? Yes, preferably. If you can go with the 4-5 turn Lamar Andrews, regardless of format I'm doing it, my guy. Unless it's a league you don't have to start a tight end. Okay, so after we take Marshawn Lloyd's, Bucky Irving, Chuba Hubbard off the board next, we're going to swing this back around. And we are looking at wide receiver. I got my eyes set on someone special in this range. Someone that has a little place in my heart. We'll see if they make it. Jalen McMillan goes at 170. No place in my heart for you, my guy. I'll tell you that much. Jermaine Byrne, 171. Not even close. Dear God. Jalen Tolbert, 172. He won't even score half the amount of points as my guy here. My guy was a better receiver than Wan'Dale Robinson in high school. All right. It's happening. Call him down. Big Q, come on down. Let's go. God, sometimes it's just too easy, to be honest with you. With another Quinton Johnston draft pick, I may have to end this live stream early. I need to call my bank and see how much money they can realistically hold. Because it may be a problem with how much money Quinton Johnston's going to make us this year. Where I may have to go to a couple different banks just so I can spread it out. Scissors says, what's your big Q exposure? Well, let me pull it up. All jokes aside. Let's figure out how many drafts I've taken big Q in. Let's see. Anybody want to take a guess on my Quinton Johnston exposure? This is my 2024 season. So this includes the high stakes drafts. This includes Best Ball Mania. This includes all the flock drafts. This includes like the puppy drafts. What percentage drafts do you think I've drafted Quinton Johnston in? I'll load up all my Chargers, guys. %, for real. 60%, 27, 30%. 17, 12, 18, 7.2, 17, 18, 25. I am sitting with a whopping 14% Quinton Johnston, 10% DJ Chark, 8% Gus Edwards, 7% J.K. Dobbins, 7% Lad McConkey, 7% Justin Herbert, 5% Joshua Palmer, 4% Vidal, and I drafted Hayden Hurst in a single league, which is technically at 0%, but a little bit higher. Scissors only at 7% I want to throw up. My guy, you got to double that. Double that, and then you can get a respectable range. Sigmo says, in a league with point per reception, completion, and rush attempt, who would you pick at 3? It's a 2-quarterback format, Josh Allen. Point per completion and point per rush attempt, 2 QB league, you take Josh Allen. Or whatever quarterback's there. Okay. Wide receiver. We're going to go Malachi Corley. We can make an argument. Oh, we have a Buffalo stack with Josh Allen and Keon Coleman. Well, let's get a Jets bring back for week 7. Probably doesn't matter. All these wide receivers about the same. Corley should be in a decent offense, decent prospect, okay draft capital. We'll take him. Yeah, double and give it to the next person. 14% Quinton Johnston, or double it and give it to the next person. Okay, let's move this over. And I think this is probably a good time to end the live stream. My girlfriend texted me her arm's getting tired for holding the antenna up. It's been 2.5 hours. But appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go wide receiver in the last 2 rounds here. But yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight. Of course, I'll be streaming tomorrow, the next day. I'm going to be streaming every single night. So if you want to join the draft with me, find that link in the description, comment section, live chat. Use code FLOCK, get my 2024 rankings, draft guide, 2024 ADP consensus cheat sheet. 50% deposit bonus, $250, plus a Christian McCaffrey special pick of more than less than half a total yard as well. But thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Really do appreciate you. And really hope we get to hang out with you in the live stream tomorrow night.